Metaphysics is going to have to be the quote unquote religion of tomorrow. If it isn't, you're fucked. Totally and absolutely. Metaphysics, if it isn't, you're fucked. Absolutely. Totally and absolutely. Metaphysics, if it isn't, you're fucked.
Hello,
Totally, absolutely. Religion of
hello.
tomorrow.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Mr. Drill, brother.
There is no drill. Drilling is wrong.
Oh, shit.
Violate our Mother Earth.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So,
It drains her for energy.
yeah, the drill is the rapist. I know. I remember this one. I remember this one. This is the truth. I can't lie. Can't deny the truth. A drill is definitely an earth penis. It's just a rape tool for Mother Earth. My bad. Which is
All
white
right.
supremacy, clearly.
It's okay. You gotta debrief. You gotta be deprogrammed from what you've been taught. It's okay. We're all gonna be patient with each other. It's a journey we're all going through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I ain't mad at him, though. You know what I'm saying? The truth is the truth. We got to keep it real. We got to know when we're doing some things that are completely and totally from the psychotic cave mind of the white supremacist dog Yakubian creation that got us all to this place of despair.
Yeah.
And we,
Stick caves and make giant metal penises to rape the earth.
they have nothing better to do. Clearly, you know what I'm saying. They had
And
nothing else to do. They couldn't talk. They couldn't bathe. All they could do was was think of ways to rape the planet.
it would just mouth kissing their dogs deeply with a lot of eye contact. Just making out with their dogs and making metal earth rape penises. That's it.
Like, yo, I
And
can't wait to breed you to the point where you're not even useful anymore. I'm gonna breed you till you can't even breathe out of your nostrils.
look at you. Look at you. The audacity and the pomp just turning your nose up and inhaling all of that oxygen.
The pomp.
Just wait. Just wait. Just wait till I give you stubby little legs and long ass ears and fur that covers your eyes so you can't see shit as you
Mm.
struggle to breathe. But look adorable.
Hey, listen, I ain't mad at them. They had to do what they had to do. They had to get out of them caves, you know. And when all they really did was rebuild them and air condition them to keep themselves out of the unrelenting, murderous sun. You know, it's not murdering the rest of us, but it's definitely killing some people in particular. So the sun is clearly racist. But hey, this is the world we live in. This is the simulation that we exist in. There's not a whole lot we can do. I mean, other than get 2 cans of hairspray and spray them up in the air as a morning ritual.
Change the world, hairspray akimbo.
Africanize the planet.
Only
I love that that was the original phrase and terminology used for global warming was Africanize the planet. I love that. I love that. The Africanization.
a lot of people don't know that. We had to put them on.
But
We had to share jewels that people weren't ready for. But we give you the secrets. We tell all the secrets on the show.
yo, there's so many places. There's so many warm places. Like, it's not South Americanized or Brazilianized. Those places are pretty hot too. But Africanized, in specific, that's pretty gangster. That's pretty gangster. I don't think there's very many people. I just is it me? Am I racist? Why does Africanizing the planet sound so dangerous? I think they've packaged so many things as African and given it to us, like the Africanized killer bees and shit. That was my favorite. That was from like the 80s or 90s or something like that. Africanized killer bees. Like what made them Africanized though? Like, okay, so what
It,
bees
it,
are the good ones? Oh, those are European. bees. Those are the ones you want.
Honey, they're not aggressive.
Right.
The the Africanized bees have a much higher crime rate. They're just a lot more aggressive environment. You have to be careful. You should cross the street if they're Africanized bees.
Yeah, Africanized bees. The father's not in the home. Like, wait, aren't they run by queens anyway? Yeah,
Broke
yeah.
bee families. Yeah, this it was a long, steady stream of programming, and I was gonna take because you came to the conclusion on your own, but I was ready to just come through and drop the jewel and blow everybody's mind. Of course, the Africanized bee. They throw the term out there it's in the news over and over and over, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, Africanized is horrible. And then when you discover the white papers from the 1940s, where they're talking about we must stop the Africanization of the planet and make sure this bitch stays cold forever. And we're going to call it eventually, global warming. In case that ever gets out, we already need to have that term branded in people's heads with a
Yeah,
negative connotation.
yeah,
It's
you're right.
strategic. They're playing chess. You got to give them credit. They
Five
play.
dimensional chess. They ain't bullshit, bro. This ain't the regular chessboard. They out here. They thinking 10 generations ahead and figuring out how to make people lay the plans down for them. That's something I think the system is very good at. They're like, look, we need to put cameras on every light pole, on every corner. We need everything under surveillance. Like people are never gonna go for this. Well, let's just tell them that brown terrorists blew some shit up and got away with it, and then they'll be like, I demand cameras on every corner.
And
They,
then the next move, because then the cameras aren't catching everything. What if we could just get everybody to hold a camera that's constantly taking pictures and the microphone is constantly surveilling language? People aren't going to agree to that, but they'll get to look at bitches on Instagram.
done.
Instagram fools will make sure that people check in and go along with it.
No, done deal. Done deal. It makes you wonder how people survive so long without instant access to all things internet, cell phone. Like, it feels like if people had to go back to either being at your house or finding a payphone, I feel like that would cause another January 6th. They'd tear down the fucking White House, bro. They'd just break in and kick the doors in and try to kill everybody. And like, I'm not going back to this payphone shit. I need access to the internet at all times.
Oh, payphones would be covered in blood. People, people, people would fight to death over them.
Yeah, yeah. Just to stand by it too, not even use it. Just to stand by it and get a phone call. I remember those days when people start figuring out that you could the caller ID, the caller ID outpaced the payphone technology. Because there was a time when you could call somebody from a payphone, they would get the number on the caller ID, then just call a payphone back, and you could use it as much as you want. Like I had numbers from payphones in the hood, and you could just give people that number, and like it was your house phone. Like, yo, just call me. I'll be down there by the corner store. Payphone. Just call the payphone, bro. Gangster shit. It's like running shit in prison. You just stand by the phone, and anybody who wants to use it either got to give you some wham whams and zuzus or come up come up off that O ring, son. Shit is bad. It's terrible out here. It's not good. It's not good. Doobie, what's cracking, brother?
Hey, what's up?
I see you've been streaming. I've been watching some of the stream too. That day's game is hardcore, brother.
It,
Hardcore.
it is gaming. It is ultimate gaming. You can't game any harder until you play Daisy. You've never gamed so hard until you play Daisy.
Oh, see, it's Daisy. See, I was saying days because I'm used to the hip hop spelling of words.
Oh no, it's completely understandable. I've gotten confused by words like that before too.
Yeah, but Daisy makes sense because it's a zombie apocalypse kind of vibe, and at least you and your crew seem to get along pretty well. Probably better than most people would in the zombie apocalypse situation.
Well, we did have some issues before, but he got kicked out. It's a very funny group of people that I always seem to find myself around.
Yeah, yeah. I was looking at it. I'm definitely gonna try to do some streaming soon once I upgrade this rig, but I don't think Daisy is gonna be on my list. That shit seems labor intensive. It seems pretty fucking serious.
It's unless you have like a crack addiction, it's not really like a good game to get into right away. It's It's literally gonna take away real time hours of your life. Like just to go somewhere, like you have to take an hour away of your real time life to get there and back. Is like really like an hour.
Good lord, there's no like what do they call it? The fast travel and all that shit.
There's no fast travel. There are vehicles, but lately I've been playing on the officials, which is basically like super hardcore. So you have to like build cars and trucks. You got to piece them together to build them.
What? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, dude.
you got to get the radiator, the tires, all that.
That's crazy. And you got to go on all kinds of excursions and brave the zombie horde to get all this shit, right?
Yeah, but we got a truck though. We got a truck. We got a truck that we stole from a crew, and we hit it. We've been busy going back and forth fighting this other crew. It's been an adventure. It's been ruining my life.
Damn.
It's been ruining my life the last couple of days. But I've been
Yeah.
getting together.
It sounds like a crack addiction. I ain't even going to front. It sounds like, because I mean, if you putting in those type of hours and you got to gather pieces and everything. See, I know I like the things that are a little bit more laid back. Even the game Ark. 'Cause I played Ark for a while, probably for like a year and a half, 2 years almost. And Ark, it gets gangster, to the point where most people who play it, they experience certain things. Like I don't know if there's an equivalent to this if you're playing DayZ, but you
A
could
lot of the
be.
guys who play Daisy play come from Ark, so they tell me
Oh,
stories
okay,
about it.
okay.
They've
So
told me stories.
So when you're playing Ark, you could be casually building your base, or collecting your stone and your oil, whatever you got to do. You're building your base, you're putting stuff in place, and a big ass raptor come jump on you and kill you or something. You'll be flying. They got these things called micro raptors, and the micro raptors can jump on you if you tame a dinosaur and you're riding it through the hood, and a micro raptor is somewhere because you can't see them when you're mounted on your thing. They're very hard to see, but they can jump up and dismount you from whatever you're riding, and you get blinded for a minute, so you can't see, and the whole time it's just fucking you up. You get killed. They call it getting arced, and that's the short version. The long version is getting arced up the ass. Like that's when it's real bad. When like a gigantosaurus or a T Rex or something pops out of nowhere. But if it's something small that's a minor inconvenience, that's just called getting arced. But
Oh yeah.
if you turn a corner and there's a fucking freaking T Rex and it just murks you in 2 bites, that's getting arced up the ass. And it happens. Don't get me wrong. I feel like the game has a programmed algorithm in it. Like that T Rex wasn't just hanging out in that area, and you just happen to come across them. They know where you're going, and they just materialize the T Rex in front of you to fuck your day. Like that's I'm positive that that's what they do. It's not random chance. They're like, yeah, this guy's going over here to do something important. Let's just fuck him up. Let's knock him off his mount, and then he'll fall in a pit. And once he's in a pit, he'll get attacked by giant spiders. That's what we're gonna do. But I like Ark because it does have a real laid back part of it where you can just build, and you build a cool house, and you can go fishing, all that kind of stuff. But there's no place in that game that's not dangerous. No matter where
Yeah,
you are,
You don't have
it's
any
danger.
out like
it's nation
binoculars
building.
or
It's nation building. It's a little bit of a nation building style that they're teaching.
it's surrogate survival skills. It's there's parts of us that we're just not using because we live in the modern world. So they're like, you know what? You're programmed to do this. Let's give you a surrogate. Suck on this nipple. Pretend you have to actually survive.
Right.
And it's too they want too much of a commitment. I need an end. Call of Duty, you got a 10-minute round. NBA 2K, you got 4 quarters and it's over.
Yeah,
I need the
it,
end.
it's not made for people like you, sir. If you're trying to game like you've never gamed before in your entire life, this is
You
this
met.
is the gratification that you've been looking for. This is the gratification you've been looking for.
It, it's just too much. It's too much of a commitment. Even now, dude. It took me like 4 years to beat Assassin's Creed Odyssey. 4 fucking years. I would just do a little bit
You
here,
got too
a
much
little.
going on with your life, sir. You have to
I,
sit your ass down, ignore your wife, and play video games like you're supposed to.
Like you're
That's that.
supposed to.
family, fall into work repeatedly. You know,
Exactly. Call off sick and finish the fucking game on time.
Yeah,
but
you're
that's the thing is,
clearly paying too much attention to your wife.
Yeah, there's too much going on in your life right now for you to not finish that game in time. It doesn't make
but
any sense.
just the commitment that they want from you, and that's what a game with an ending. That's what a game with an ending.
That's a game. That's a game with a storyline.
Right. These are just engineered experiences that are perpetual.
Yep.
Like, oh no, it doesn't end. You just keep doing it. What do you mean? It's like basically like your life, but in another world. So
I
you're
try to,
doing a lot
I
of
try, I try to convince one of my homeboys. I already knew he's gonna say no, but that's basically what he would say. It's like it's too much commitment in his life for him to play that game.
Dude, yeah, Ark is hardcore. I remember the first time I played it, my homies introduced me to it, and they're like, "Yeah, it's cool. It's got dinosaurs, and you can tame them, and you can ride them." And so they get me into the game. I find their server and all that shit. We just standing around, and the game looks pretty cool. So I was just like, "Oh wow, this is awesome." And I jumped in the water. I'm like, "Oh shit, you can swim?" They're like, "Yeah, but you might not want to be in the water." And I got killed by piranhas. And I'm like, hold on, wait, you just said there's dinosaurs. You didn't say like you didn't say I was gonna get murdered by shit in the water. And I'm walking around, they're like discussing how they're gonna set up the server and trying to tell me everything. And I'm walking around just like we managed to find each other, so we're all standing three together. And while they're talking, I can still hear them in the headphones, even if I get far away from them. So I'm just kind of walking around, and I died 10 times while they were discussing, telling me how to play the game. I died at least 10 times.
Yeah,
Everywhere you
it's
go, there's something there that will fucking murder you relentlessly with no remorse. It's like, oh, you want to explore, son? Okay.
this is what exploring really is.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
It's
Unless you got some kind of, I mean, you got to have army. Like, basically, when you play Ark, the first, if you don't know any better, you're going to die a lot. But even if you do know better, the first thing you do is just start punching trees to make a spear, pick up rocks. Like you gotta immediately start arming yourself, picking
yeah.
berries so you don't starve to death. There's no leisure downtime in Ark. Like even when you play something like Minecraft, like you could play Minecraft for a little while and be like, oh, this is cool until it gets dark and then you're fucked. But in Ark, it's just like no, instant. Start grabbing berries or you're gonna starve to death today,
For
not tomorrow.
for some strange reason, they're teaching us survival skills and a little bit of nation building. And
Accelerate survival skills.
I don't know what's going on in the future, but I feel like a lot of gamers are gonna be okay when it comes to survival. It's just a lot because like you if there's any water, if you play an official server on DayZ, anything with water in it, you have to dump it out because you'll die of some type of sickness. You got to empty out the water,
Oh my
and then
god.
you have to find a well and fill it up from the well. You can't just find water and drink it. And then like there's stages. Like when I first started playing, I was just going in, going house to house, trying to find food and then make it to the next town. And then when I got with these guys, like they figured it out. Like they got hose to till the land. You plant seeds. You can go fishing. Then you gotta go find a house. You could cook all that meat, and then everybody could link up. Like there's this, it's it's different. Like I've never like played games like that, and I'm surprised like with my patience that I'm still doing it. But I think it's because it's with there's a group of people. That's what makes it like I think why I keep playing it.
Yeah.
Alex Jones is missing a fucking great marketing opportunity. There's a partnership to be had there. Um, you could peddle some supplements, but just think about buying, little survival packs. Like you get some iodine pills, you can put them in the water, it cleanses it up right away. You get some of that, some MRE food, like you do little drops. Like there's an opportunity, just like in Fortnite, where you buy the extra skins. People buy that virtual currency and all that other stuff.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Like there's a marketing opportunity there and a partnership to sell like survival goods in the virtual world. He must not
MRE,
have Jews working for him because someone would
because they would
Alex.
definitely have figured this out already. Yeah, it's rough, bro. I've got some footage playing. I don't know how to share this thing to everybody so we can all see it at the same time. I think I do that in Skype, but I got some footage playing right now of of Ark Ark. Just ways to die in Ark. I'm see if I can share it. Here we go. Yeah, just ways to like, no matter what you do, if you're playing this game, it's very likely. Like I don't think you can survive to the point where you would be safe enough
Like
to actually battle some of this stuff. You're gonna die 30 to 50 times before you even get a normal house built. Probably. You're just
Yeah,
gonna yeah, just gonna get murdered back to back
it
to
took
back.
me it took me a year to get that game. Like just the patience, like just to like I have to go back and like I can't play this for like months. I stopped playing it for months because it just is. You're not gonna go right away and just like start anything. It's gonna take some time.
Yeah,
they want so much.
yeah. I
Want
can't invest that type of time.
I,
Not if it's not monetized. So if it's monetized, if you stream
Yeah,
it, then that makes more sense because you can kind of it makes sense because you can get paid from it. It's a job at that
yeah,
point. But if
yeah,
I'm just playing and this is the shit that I have to go through, I'll turn this fucker off, bro. I'll just be like, you know what? Never mind. Forget about it. I'm not that concerned. I'm just not that concerned. But this one of the reasons I had to stop playing Ark because you get to it like it was a stage of map that we were on called Crystal something, and they had all these dragons on it, like so you could start taming the dragons. And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, we're gonna get these dragons, b. And bro, like the process you got to go through to tame dragons. Oh, and it's a dragon, so you you can't just walk up to it and think everything's gonna go well, and you just put a saddle on a dragon. And no, that's not how this shit goes. You're gonna get fucked up a lot, and the resource that it takes to tame them is super hard to find. It's a really difficult resource. So yeah, but I do like the game though. I'm not gonna front because it has so much of a building element. I always like the games with the building and the gathering of resources and expanding your property. I dig that shit.
yeah.
But to have an interesting game, you're gonna have some murder festivals too. You gotta have zombies or something that's gonna fuck you up while you're trying to build. I
I'm
get it.
trying
That's
to
a,
understand how you die from stealing from beavers.
Oh shit, bro! Because when you go to there's something super important to the game. You can craft it on your own, but it takes a lot of resources. So if you find a beaver dam, the beaver dam has a few cool resources in it, but one of them, the main one, is cementing paste, because the beavers, I guess, use some type of mud to make their dam. So it makes sense. You go to the dam, you check the dam's inventory, and you take out the cementing paste. But once you take something from the beaver dam inventory, all the beavers in the local surrounding area come after you. So if there's 10 beavers just hanging out and walking around doing their NPC thing, the second you take something from their inventory, you're fucked. All 10 beavers are coming directly for you. So if you don't have a bird parked close by that you can hop on and fly away, if you were goofy enough to do that shit on foot, you're fucked, bro. Them beavers will kill your ass quick, bro. They'll kill you quick. And I learned that. One time I took so much cement and paste, you can get encumbered in Arc. So if your weight stat is not high enough, you could say,
Yeah.
take all, and it happened to be that taking that cement and paste weighs you down, and now you can't run. You get to stand in one place and watch 10 beavers chew your fucking face off, and
See,
that's
I
getting
feel like
arced.
if I had a baseball bat, I could easily take out 10
No,
beavers.
these are not regular
Oh,
beavers. These are prehistoric.
prehistoric
oh,
Yeah,
beavers.
these
oh, pre-
beavers. Yeah, these beavers are the size of a Volkswagen Beetle.
okay, understood.
Yeah, your ass is grass, bro. They fucking you up. There's no way out of it. But I like to max my strength stat ignorantly high so I can punch shit and kill it. Like if I got a spear on me, most times I can stand my ground and lance y'all bastards. Or if you're smart and you're not trying to be cocky, you just fly your bird in there, you hop off, you take the shit out of the thing, and you jump right back on your bird and you fly away.
Yeah, making heists.
But the
Yeah,
beavers
I
are
like.
smart. They'll chase you, bro. The beavers will chase you for a long ass time. Because you gotta get a certain amount of distance from them before they break off and go back to doing what they're doing. So if you're not fast enough to create that right amount of distance, they'll chase you forever. Forever. You can climb up on a rock. Like say if you jump up on some rocks and they can't climb, they don't leave. They won't go away. You're fucked there, bro. You'll starve to death on top of that rock before the beavers leave you alone. So yeah, Ark. It's an interesting game. I think you'd enjoy it if you had like if you get the right introduction to it, you get to build something to actually explore. And because if you don't have a bed, the bed is what sends you back to your base. So if you have a bed in your base, you sleep in the bed, you can choose to respawn in that bed. If not, they respawn you in a random place, butt naked. But they do show they do show you where your dead body is, which is a hilarious mechanic. They is a big green marker, like a I forget what the word is. It's a beacon, like a big green laser that goes from wherever your dead body is. So if you had important shit on you, you had some weapons and stuff like that, you can go back to your dead body and pick up everything you lost. But whatever kills you camps the dead body. They don't just walk off. They know you're coming back to get your shit, so they camp the body. And as soon as you come in, they aggro on you, and now you're naked with no weapons. If you died with weapons, you're definitely gonna die with no weapons. So, it can be a frustrating game. I like it. It's very cool. It's a cool experience to play, but yeah, it can frustrate you for sure. That game will fuck you over big time.
It takes patience, a lot of patience.
Yeah, that's what it is.
At this point, for me, it's just my retirement plan. Once I accomplish everything I want to accomplish, then I'm just gonna start doing heroin and meth and play video games. When I'm old, my health doesn't matter, and I have nothing but time and nothing really productive or responsible to do.
This is not advice. So anybody who's listening to this is not advice. The advice, the opinions of everyone on the show does not necessarily mean that you should start doing that. Don't start doing meth and heroin and playing video games. It may not be the best.
At least 75, and you're prudently invested, and
You have a home, you have a retirement plan.
you've taken care, you've accomplished your life goals. You've gotten
The kids are good. They're all in college.
right. You've gotten that film script in the right hands, and the movie was made. You wrote that bestseller. Whatever you go
Farm
with,
in the backyard.
right. You got it done. You're good. You've contributed. You've mentored at least a couple of people in your life, and
800 credit score.
yeah. Well, nah, I mean, that's optional. Optional.
750. 750.
Yeah, the credit score is optional. Fuck those guys.
It's optional because if you can get to the end game to video game retirement, heroin, meth usage, and you got a 420 because you basically stiffed all the credit card companies, but you got to the end, that's still a win. That's still a win. If you could live off the land and you're in a good enough place that you could just chill, I'm not going to say you got to end with a good credit score. You need a credit score when you're trying to build shit. When you're at the end of the road, I don't know how important it is.
Yeah.
But again,
especially if you already got everything.
yeah, who cares at that point?
Like, how are you tricking me now? I have a house. There's money in my pocket.
Yeah,
Right.
and at least enough money to buy my fucking meth while I play these video games.
Well, I play video games, I'm saying.
And something tells me if you play video games and do meth on stream, you probably won't need no credit anyway. 'Cause they're gonna blow your cash out.
But
up,
do
son.
you know how many people are gonna watch your show and donate to you?
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna blow up your cash app. You won't need no credit. You'll be fucking
Good.
rich. Like, yo, all I do is play video games and mainline heroin, bro. And, they just, and everybody's like, I can't miss this.
You know what's so awesome about this game is the part where you feel like there's bugs under your skin, and you just keep ripping at your skin to try to get the bugs out. I mean, I don't know how they program that into the game. No, that's the meth. It's not the game. That's the meth.
Yeah.
Oh.
I peeked into the Twitch stuff the other day. I started looking at Twitch a little bit to see, what people are doing and just kind of just trying to pick up some information. And
Did you see the bathtub bathing suit streams?
Oh, there's a billion of those. See, women don't have to do anything. They don't even have to actually play the games.
Women don't have to try at all, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's why we need to get basically a sexy, desperate woman to be down with the team.
I've tried. I've sat down and had like group conversations, like a stable of women, like a pimp and hoe situation.
You have to because
But
you have to convince.
you don't even need to have sex.
Clearly can't. Just like, listen. Just
All
be-
you have to do
we're gonna-
is show your titties and talk.
Just listen. We're going to talk about politics, real world events, and saving the world. We just need you to sit in a bathtub and play Ark with us with your titties out. That's
Right.
it. That's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do.
Right.
Well, can I just play Ark with my titties out by myself and keep all the money? Bitch, you could, but you won't. But you're not good enough.
We have access to your Twitch
Not
account,
right.
bitch.
So we have to break her spirit, and it's pimping, but it's not pimping. Pimping is horrible. This is definitely G-rated pimping. Because that's it. All of the streaming shit, you just can't compete. I don't know what show that you did. Nothing could compete with the most basic shit. And also, too, I don't know what it is like, how bad or how fallen we've come as a culture. Like, none of these women would have viable careers in any other kind of society. Like, it really takes this level of a depraved society where people are this lonely. Look, dude, I can't imagine. I used to get bitter taking girls out on dates. I used to just be like, why do I gotta pay? I've been fed all of this feminist, we're equal shit all the time, but all of a sudden I gotta take on this burden of traditional shit, and I gotta pay for the meal, and you may not even like me,
That's
but
exactly where I'm at right now.
like each other. I gotta pay for food, but so it's I can't imagine a world where dudes are like, look,
But when does it
I'm never
stop?
gonna meet you.
When does the pay, when does the I have to pay for the dinner stop? Like how
It
many
never stops.
how many dates does it
Well,
take for it to stop?
theoretically, it should have stopped with feminism. The moment we were equals and we abandoned traditional roles, that should have evaporated along with it.
Let me just say something here. The problem is what seems to be the problem is y'all believe what women say. That seemed to be the biggest problem. When they say we're equal and we can do anything you can do, that's like a child telling you, I can drive that car too.
That's exactly what it
You're
is.
like, all right there, little buddy. I'm sure you can. Sure you can. That don't mean you let them get behind the wheel and fucking hit the freeway. That's not what that is. When women tell you they're equal and everything is, you go, oh, okay, little buddy. That's cute. That's cute. But they have no intentions of exercising that equality in any way, because I think what humans in general are hypocrites. That may be the thing that humanity has mastered above all else, is the ability and willingness to be a hypocrite. Women in
Yeah,
general,
like
the
cognitive dissonance for
right,
sure.
the deepest thing with women that I've noticed, that the reoccurring theme with women is that they always want it both ways. Always, always, always. I never really understood the phrase "have your cake and eat it too," because I was thinking from a logical, platonic, solid male frame of thinking. Like, the only reason to have the cake is to eat it. Like, of course I want to eat the cake.
I never understood that analogy either. Like
But what it means
have your
is,
cake and eat it too.
like, yeah, cake is for eating. Of course I want to have my cake and then eat it.
But it's one cake.
But
It's
that what
one
they're
cake.
saying is, she wants the privilege of having a cake. Look, everybody, I have a cake. But she also wants to eat the cake, which means if you eat the cake, you don't have a cake anymore. They want both. They want a quantum cake. Like, you remember how you watch Tom and Jerry and somebody's eating a stack of mashed potatoes and it never goes anywhere. They just keep taking spoonfuls of it and it never changes. That's it right there. That's feminine consciousness in a nutshell.
Yo, you are a Klansman on the back of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. This is dinosaur bigotry in Ark. He just said bitches want quantum cake.
Yeah, they just want to take a bite out of it, and then that bite magically refills itself back in. They have a cake you can perpetually have and perpetually eat. This is the world they want to live in. But reality doesn't comport with that. You know what I mean? It doesn't connect. It doesn't track. So they're just having a tantrum at some level at all times, because they want a man who is sensitive and loving, but also a fucking barbarian that'll crack the skull of anybody who disrespects her. It's very rare that you're going to find that man with both of those things completely intact. It's very likely he's going to lean more towards one or the other. He's either going to be the barbarian who cracks everybody's skull, including hers occasionally, or he's going to be this super soft motherfucker who just always wants to talk his way out of it. And if you listen to him talk, they'll admit it. As long as you're not, the best way to get information out of women, don't judge them.
Yeah, don't judge for
Don't
sure.
judge. Don't project your masculinity and be like, yeah,
Don't
but
talk.
that don't make no fucking sense. You can't do
Just
that.
stay quiet. Just
Stay
stay quiet.
quiet,
Let them do
word,
all the talking.
and be like, word, yeah, no, no, I get it, and see what they tell you.
Yep.
See what they tell you. They'll tell you out of their own mouths. If I tell a man I want flowers, it's because I'm trying to teach him what I want. But once he gets me the flowers, I don't really want them no more because I told him I wanted them, and he didn't get them to. And you're like, oh, okay, you fucking crazy, is what this is.
And if she doesn't have a dad in her life, don't waste your time.
Well, and I think a lot of women are conscious of the fact that they have this thing within them, and I think the older that they get, the more they're able to be honest and come to terms with it and just speak candidly about it. Not all of them, but not all applies to everybody. Stupid to say it, but we can't have to qualify it. But it's not even so much of the because this is something I've been aware of for a while, is that yes, on paper, all of these high-minded ideals that are just the default setting of righteousness in the culture, of course we're equal. Of course, whatever I can do, you can do. Of course, there's no different. All of this, communist gobbledygook nonsense shit. They're things that people just repeat and say, and if you don't agree with it, you're a piece of shit. And that's kind of just been ingrained in the culture for at least as long as we've been on the planet. I don't know how it was before us, but I know based on our age brackets, we all kind of grew up with that being the mass cultural kind of understanding in pop culture wise anyway, right? But from individual experience, you quickly pick up on the fact it's like, oh, of course you get the best of both worlds, and I can't even necessarily be upset at you for doing that. It's been lined up for you this way. So anytime you don't want to take on the responsibility of something, oh, you're a man, you're supposed to do this. What kind of man are you if you're not going to do that? And then anytime you need to assert yourself and take control over everything, you can't tell me what to do. Who are you? You're not my boss. I don't have to obey you. Because what was removed was the traditional agreement of, I'll take care of you. You do what I say. And now it's, you can't tell me what to do, but you ain't a man if you don't take care of me. So yeah, you get it. You get it both ways, and it's been ollie ooped for them to kind of run with that. So I get that, but what I'm saying is we have a culture now where there's a marketplace to sustain bitches that are selling fake relationships. Like this is, and it's good for the woman, because if you're gonna say a woman's gonna be exploited, prostitution, sex trafficking, that's horrific, right? That's a horrible way for a woman to be commodified. And if you go a step above that, okay, well, you no longer have a pimp, you're still kind of selling your body and letting men enter you and basically blow loads on your chest. That's still kind of But now it's like you can just sit in a hot tub. You ain't got to jerk nobody off. You don't got to do shit. You just got to be friendly. And dudes are like, to the point, this
Throwing money at you
streamer,
like they're in a
look,
strip club.
she's making more than $1 million a year from, I don't know, I guess these streams, and then like 100,000 a month from the Patreon, 100,000 a month from something else. So I'm talking about multi-millions that some of these
Yes.
chicks are taking in. Just again, not even an OnlyFans. You're
And
not even
they're all
super pop.
donations. They're all donations.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. How is it that there's this many dudes who aren't even paying for sex? Let me pay for. That's insane. That's insane?
Because
How
they're
But
ravaging themselves.
it goes to the stupidity of men though. That's all it is. It just goes to the stupidity. There's a guy out there who has nothing going for him, and he'll rather just watch some person that gives him attention
No,
and
no,
just
no.
throw the money away.
I think that might be a bad assessment because a guy who has nothing going from him probably doesn't have very much disposable income.
Okay, but there's that guy, and then there's another guy, and then there's another guy. And keep in mind, it there's young kids who got their parents' credit cards and just throwing money at these women who don't know any better.
You know what I think it is? I think the simplicity of the male sexual mechanism. I think that's what it comes down to, because a lot of guys, yeah, if you can go out and finesse a woman into giving some sex up or charm her into having sex. If you can go to the strip club and get a freaking hand job or whatever in the private dance room, like all of that's fine. Like, oh yeah, yeah, you'll do it if you can. But at the same time, most of them are absolutely willing to just beat off in front of a computer screen and then go watch Netflix
with no problem.
with
With no
no
problem.
problem, even if that costs you a few bucks to do it. Like, so the same thing like with women, a lot of them, I don't know how true this is, but a lot of them are reporting that they have a lot of bad sexual experiences with men. So they're hooking up with dudes who don't really care about them. Dude humps and sweats on top of you for a few minutes and then he's gone. And then you got to finish yourself off with a vibrator, all this kind of shit. It's way more complex to have a good sexual experience with another person. Dudes, it's just a lever that you pull. Like, it doesn't really matter what's happening. Dudes stick their pipes through holes in the wall to let whoever's on the other side deal with it. Like, it doesn't matter. They're fucking psychos when it comes to this shit. But it's a biological mechanism. They don't care. They don't care. So whether it's having sex with the finest stripper you've ever seen or beating off on Pornhub, like, there's not much difference after you've actually emptied yourself. There's not much difference. You're gonna feel the same way after you're done with the stripper, pretty much as you do after you beat off in front of a computer screen. You're gonna be a little bit disgusted with yourself. Let me get away from this woman. Or
You're
let
gonna
me
be
get away from this
disgusted
screen.
both ways.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why does it matter? So why does it matter? Why would you
You're
go
gonna
pay the stripper $500 or whatever you're gonna do when you could just stay home and beat off? It's the
no,
same
you're
shit.
gonna you're gonna look at your dick and make sure you have no wounds.
Right,
Yeah.
right. At
It,
least
with my mouth, like, did I get something?
have
So
no
it's
nodules on my shaft.
right.
But I will say though, the, ma-
Intact.
the majority of the women who do it though, they do have to cross that line of like some type of sexual content. But like the very few that don't, there I don't know. There's a very small group that don't provide sexual content that they do have a following. But if they want to continue that process, they do have to cross that line of like sexual content at some point. I've never seen one that's like making so much money and there's not sexual content like hidden away somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I don't know what kind of dudes is out here uh, patronizing this kind of shit. But I had a stripper ask me one time if I was scared to get a lap dance because she asked me if I was scared that I might come getting a lap dance, and I was just like, "Fuck, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, is this like a part of your life? Like, are you rubbing on dudes who are fully clothed and they're freaking busting all in their shorts
That's
and
happened to me. That's happened to me.
wait, hold on. How old were you?
That's happened. I was in a strip club.
Like, how old were you though?
I had to be like 23,
Okay,
24
well,
ish.
that makes a little. I mean, I get it.
But she was like on top of me, rubbing me. So like it's gonna happen the way like she was on me. She basically wanted to have sex with me, but I didn't have any condoms, so like that was the next best thing.
Yeah, that's some
Yeah,
wild
dude.
shit.
I think you.
No, there was no there was it was clothes. I was clothed. I never took anything off, nothing got peeked through.
That's wild.
The
Okay.
hand of God, the hand of God has held my penis a number of times.
Is that what
how
that is?
how have I've escaped a lot of things? I don't
Damn.
know. I
Hey,
don't know.
look, if it's happening, I was kind of offended a little bit. I was like, bitch, fuck you think this is? Like, you think somebody's gonna. No, but I guess if it's happening enough, that's what
Yeah.
they threatening you with that
Listen,
shit.
this is why I don't go to the strip club. Like, I don't understand going to a place, I'm throwing my money that I just work hard for, and I'm not getting anything out of it, and I'm seeing all this ass and titties. I
Well,
just
so,
there has to be
hold on.
something in it for me if I'm throwing my money at you. Like there has to be.
Some of them grind very aggressively though. Like they really do work the dick. And if you go with sweatpants, there's a whole
Yeah,
strategy.
and I have sweatpants.
Creepy
I have
strategy.
sweatpants. I
There's a
have
whole
sweatpants.
creepy strategy.
You
Having
know,
a
you
naked
know what? You know
I
what's
have
made for the
sweatpants.
strip club? You ever heard of these a clothing company called Umbro?
sounds familiar, but I
Like the
couldn't.
soccer company.
Yeah, yeah. Umbro
Oh,
is a soccer company, and they make like windbreaker pants. They mad thin. Like, so you put on some Umbros, you go to the strip club. Like, I think we should make uh strip club pants
Yeah.
So they should they should be mad thin, and you should be able to lubricate them on the inside. Like just just squirt a little bit of Astroglide in the front of your pants to go get your lap dance, bro.
Oh, no,
Everybody will
they
be
come
happy.
like a little. You know how like a bathing suit has that other layer inside? Like there's a little satin thing in the
Yeah,
really opaque, so
There
it
you
doesn't
go.
discoloration on the other end.
that's
Lap dance,
hilarious, dude. Lap dance
lap
pants,
dance,
lap
lap
pants.
dance. Yeah, lap dance.
I feel like there's a market for that. Like women see you coming with those pants on, with no pun intended, but
They know.
they
Yeah.
see you walk in with those pants on, and they're like, yeah, yeah, he's gonna be in and
So
out in
we're
five
getting
minutes.
a we're getting a hundred out
Is
of
that
that.
any less pathetic than sending $500 to a bitch in a bathtub in a bathing suit?
That's actually smarter because at least
Game that she sucks at.
yeah, at least you get something out of it other than abusing yourself with your own hand.
Uh, Keep in mind, she's screaming the whole time at a game she's not good at.
Well, that's just to trigger the masculine love of those noises. That's why they do that in anime, bro. You watch anime, people be getting like a
I,
woman will get her fucking arm chopped off in an anime, and she'll be like, ah.
yes.
It's like you just got
So
your arm bitten off by a dragon. Why are you making those kind of noises? Because dudes love it. They know a dude's beating off right now. He's watching her get her arm ripped off by a dragon, and he's beating off. He's not just watching it because it's a harrowing tale of a female who has to make her like. Ah, he don't give a shit about none of that. He's watching the
But she
tits
has
bounce.
big titties.
Right, he's watching the tits
She's
bounce.
dying.
That's it.
She's
oh,
dying with the titties bouncing. Also.
and that's some shit that Japan has been selling us for a long time.
Oh yeah. Oh
Dude, I remember because I love those RPGs from when I was a kid. And invariably, there's always bitches with super impractical outfits.
Oh yeah.
Like bitch out here fighting ogres with a pickaxe. And
Tifa
you
was
gotta,
with Tifa was close fisting huge ass dragons the
dude,
size of the planet with some Daisy Duke shorts and some boots.
As she should. As she should.
She was.
with a sports bra that's just like a millimeter above a titty drop. Like it's the
This
titty
is your
drop
battle
is-
outfit. This
right,
is what
right.
you're
Like,
supposed to fight.
aren't they shooting like guns at us and dragons are breathing fire and shit? Doesn't matter. Don't
You're
give.
close fisting everybody.
All I need is these metal pasties and a thong.
Dude, and you know what? You know, if you want to look something up that was even more ridiculous, it was a game called Nier. I haven't beat it yet. That's another game I've been playing for like 8 years. One day I'll have enough time to fucking beat it. Uh, the one of the protagonists in that is a chick, swords fighting fucking giant creatures. The bitch just has on a fucking negligee,
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. That's
a
hilarious, bro.
loosely fitting, and they sell this shit like with a straight face, like, oh yeah, no, it can happen. It can happen. It's like, okay, you selling me a lot of weird shit. You gave me like a voodoo doll that came to life. You gave me like a giant frog that speaks French. You giving me a lot of weird, I get it, it's quirky, but invariably, always, when it comes to the chick, that's
Big
the
tits.
she's
Big
gonna be
tits.
ridiculously stacked, and for whatever reason, this is a chick that could just sit around in a hot tub and get super chatted money and never have to do shit. But she's like, nah, I'm gonna be super sexy and I'm gonna go out and risk my life fighting creatures that all of these dudes would fight for me. But I'm just gonna do it. And I have to be scantily clad. There's no other alternative. I have to fight the monsters this way.
That's why the girl died. She wasn't scantily clad. She just had a fucking pink dress. What's her name?
Which one?
Aerith.
Oh yeah, that bitch was too covered. That's a great.
That's exactly why she died. We would have been known she was gonna die if we knew she was dressed.
And wear these long ass Pentecostal skirts,
Yeah.
corny ass sweaters covering up your titties.
Death.
The fuck you got going on
You
here?
die in that career. You're done.
You're a death magnet.
You're making it to the end. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a death magnet. If you're a woman and you actually try to armor yourself logically, you're a death magnet.
Yo, I wish I figured this out
Wrestling.
in high school.
But see, in American media, it's the exact opposite. Like all the horror movies and shit, the horror gets killed first. Like whoever sneaks off into the woods to blow a guy, you get your head cut off. But the virgin and they always slip it into the script somewhere. It's like, so when you gonna let Johnny smash? She's like, no, I don't think we're ready. We got to take our time. She's like, well, I'm gonna blow Jake tonight in the woods. Well, guess who's gonna die? You, while you're blowing Jake. That's what happens. If you're a whore, you die. And anime is
Women,
completely different.
women who have whore friends always, I never understand it. Like, how come like it doesn't like bleed over, and how can like I never understood that.
I don't think they care much. I don't think it matters. You know what I'm saying? It's just a person with a personality. Dudes have friends who beat their wives.
I don't have friends like that.
No, I
Fuck
mean, some
that.
dudes do. Some dudes got friends who get drunk and do fucking crimes and shit. Like I knew a dude when I first moved to St. Pete. There was this dude who hung with, like, it was three or four guys that all hung together. A couple of them I was cool with. People used to rap and smoke and shit, so it was fun. They had this one guy who chilled with them who was a fucking psychopath. He was a time bomb, bro. We went to Ybor one time. And you know how crowded Ybor can be on the weekends. We're walking down the street and somebody kind of bumped into him, and when the guy walked past him, he turned around and spit on the dude.
Yeah.
And like that's just how he rolled, and they thought it was funny. And from that point on, after I saw him spit on somebody in Ybor, they'd be like, "Yo, you want to go do this?" I'm like, "Is that motherfucker coming?" Yeah, I'm not going.
You just saved your life
Yeah,
every
it's only a
moment.
matter of time before somebody wows on this dude, and y'all think it's funny, but this is gonna get somebody killed, bro. And like I said, men keep those types of friends. They keep friends who do all kinds of goofy shit. So to have a friend who's giving up her pussy a little easier than other people think she should, that's very low on the morality totem pole. Like, who fucking cares? She bangs guys, so what? Dudes do terrible shit and still got a whole group of friends that'll high five them and shit. It's stealthing. That's the famous one. Dudes get on Twitter and brag about slipping the condom off while they're banging a chick, and people think it's funny. They're like, "Oh, she's stupid. She let you do that." Like, actually, you might be stupid. Maybe she's a carrier, and you just fucked yourself.
Those
So
guys are idiots.
that's to a
That's too stupid. That's not even funny, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get off it. Let's get.
Oh
But,
my
but
god.
that's what I'm saying. Like, we turn our logic off too, just like women turn their logic off. We some shit we
But
just
I
don't
mean,
care
I
about.
don't know. Like, I just had a couple female friends, and they always get shocked at like the treatment that they get from other men because of that particular friend. And I'm like, it's because your friend is a whore. So because you're next to her, you're guilty by association. So like, I used to tell them that all the time, and they're like, well, these men think they keep talking to me. Well, it's because your friend that you hang out with all the time has blowed all them off. So because you're with her, they all assume the same thing.
Truthfully, she's probably a whore too. She just takes a lot longer to warm up. She's like, one of the chicks is a Ferrari. You turn the key and you do 0 to 100 in 3 seconds. This one is an old Buick. In the winter, you got to leave the key in it, let it run for 10 to 15 minutes to warm the engine up, and then you take it slow before you get to the highway. Like, some of them are just like that. But once you get them going, they're probably down to do the same shit. That this is one of the red pill manosphere things, is that women are always, and I don't think it's just women, but we identify it easier than women. They're always willing to break rules for some people. There's a guy out there that she likes that's going to be like, is decent, and he wants to take her on dates, and she's going to make him wait 3 dates before she kisses him. There's another guy who's going to walk in and she'll be blowing him in the bathroom in 10 minutes. That's
Yeah.
just, we're not all the guy who gets blown in the bathroom in 10 minutes. And dudes, for some reason, they have this inanimate object concept about women. They always liken it to, and it makes sense. You're not wrong, but you just got to understand the psychology of an autonomous being. Like, if you walk into a store and a person puts a freaking 2 gallon bottle of iced tea on the counter, and he pays $3 for it. If you get the same iced tea and put it on the counter and they charge you $20, you're gonna be like, "Yo, what the fuck? What? He just got the same thing for $3." And they go, "Well, that was his price. This is your price." You fucking, it'd be a problem in there. There's no logical reason why you should have to pay more for that than the guy in front of you. There's no logical reason. But when you're talking about a person, there's a person who will allow some people to get away with some shit, and other people, they ain't gonna have it from you. And that's just something we gotta deal with as humans. Everybody's not gonna get the same concessions as everybody else gets. And when you're the one getting it for cheap, you don't give a fuck who gotta pay more. And
Stop giving these useless bitches money. Playing
yeah,
video
yeah.
games in a hot tub is not a skill. Stop it.
Well, influencing a boner and not even being in the same room, that's a legitimate skill though.
No, give that to OnlyFans. There's an OnlyFans girl who will stick all kinds of shit in all kinds of places at your request and make you videos and still message you back. And maybe that's more degrading,
And
but
those girls message you back like they're talking to you personally
what on the streaming?
on OnlyFans.
Yeah, I mean, it's a more honorable transaction. I feel like playing games in the bathtub is just it's just
But
whack.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like there's those girls who all they do is sit in the bathtub, right? But there's those group of girls who you have to like deep search like their social media, and there's always the OnlyFans plug. That the bathtub is leading you to the OnlyFans.
Oh, that's how they
Uh,
get you. That's how they get you. It does
Yeah.
suck that they're taking. Well, they're not really taking up anything because I
they're
have
not-
heard people say that they're taking up space from gamers, and nobody's watching a chick in a cat onesie with her tits out trying to play a video game who actually cares about seeing the video. That's not who's watching her.
We're not here. We're not here for her video game. We're not
Right,
here.
yeah, at all. So they're not really taking anything away from gamer streams or nothing like that.
Oh,
They're just, these are people. You think that's the guy who's watching her and sending her money on Twitch? You think he wants to see you play DayZ?
no,
Hell no, he don't.
no, no. That man has been waiting for a woman to just be on the TV with her titties out and giving him some type of attention.
Right, right, and
it,
the video game is the subterfuge because he doesn't
It's
want to go
it's
straight to OnlyFans and just
it's
beat
the
off.
light.
He's
It's the
pretending.
light that zaps the bead. Like it's just the light that just and then we're going through Twitch and like, oh, it's a girl playing a game, and then
Oh
we
yeah,
get
she's a gamer.
we,
No, no,
we
no,
get
she's a gamer. Like this is just porn. No, 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 she's playing Zelda. Okay, motherfucker. All right, whatever you say, bro.
I've tried to get a stable of women, and they just can't see the vision. They can't.
When I
They
start
can't see
streaming
the
my
vision.
games, I'm gonna just put a webcam on my wife's feet and just
Bro,
let her.
I've peddled this business idea to multiple women, and none of them see the vision. None of them.
I'm gonna just get a fucking a lemon meringue pie and put it on the floor and let my
just
wife
have
destroy it with her feet while I play Ark.
and just crunch the crust in between the toes.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
that. Yep, I'm
Dude,
down with
my-
that.
Couple old babies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I'm
Yo.
down with that. I
You
ain't
gonna-
even mad.
Huge anonymous donation for like 5 million. I guarantee Tarantino's on there.
Yeah,
He's
right. Oh shit! That'll be the sound I play every time I get a donation. I'll play that. Yeah, play the Tarantino sound. And as long as I never talk, and we never talk, we'll never engage the audience. That'll be part of the mystique. I'm not gonna say thank you for your subs. I ain't gonna say nothing.
That's
Nothing
cold.
but foot footage and
Oh,
game
man.
footage. That's it.
That's genius.
Feet and games. That's it. That's all you get. If you need more, you got to find another channel. But all we're gonna do, we might take requests. If you say, can we do that with beef stew next week instead of a coconut cream pie? I'll be like, yeah, it depends on what the size of your donation. I'll make some
Oh.
beef stew personally. I'll put it in a nice bowl, and she can.
And then you could have a Patreon where you cook whatever they ask you to make. You know what I'm saying? And then you watch the stream and she puts her foot in it. It's all monetizable.
Yeah, tune in next week for mac and cheese and Minecraft.
You know what I mean?
It's the end of the empire, dude. There's too much money available that these kinds of career paths can be sustained.
But that's why they say there's a recession. And then you
There
find
has to
out
be.
what's being the money's being spent on. It's like, where's the recession really? Like what's
Yeah, how is there a recession when all you pedos ran in here to see some freshly 18-year-old tits?
That's what I'm saying.
And made her a millionaire because her tits are only 19 years old. Like that. This is how you spend your money. But if you, it's
That-
hilarious.
17 years and 357 days.
Right. Yeah. 17 years,
On the dot.
357 day old tits, and
On
you
the
guys are
357th day, she got $5 million and said, "These titties are now ready to publish."
and y'all thought this was a good way. This is a good person to thrust abundance upon. We're just gonna give her all the dollars because her tits are newly, like you can't be convicted for looking at her tits as of today.
Because it's because she can't go out in the street with her titty out and ask for a dollar.
No, not make 5 million. That's
No,
what I'm
she,
saying.
yeah, you
It's
can't.
The
Yeah,
impossible. It's
technology,
impossible.
technology has provided her a way to connect with human beings in the creepiest of ways to monetize millions of dollars. The internet is the fucking devil. Like you have to have a lane. You're either making people completely outraged by telling them what they want to hear, and whatever. Pick your political faction. It's fine, but that's the game. Hey, what are you upset about? Let me tell you. Oh, you're right to be upset. Here, get to my Patreon. I'm gonna tell you why it's okay to be mad every week. You send me some money, we'll build a relationship. Or just look at my titties, look at my pussy, send me money. These are the people succeeding on the internet.
right.
These are the people that have the most attention, the most influence, and are amassing wealth, and they have no plan over. There is no compound. There is no sustainable living. There's just more
No,
decadence for them and
they're
more
renting
luxuries.
$1 million houses. like
Right, right, and that's what they do with the money. You give her $1 million, and she goes and buys a mansion where her bills are like fucking $80,000 a month because she
Just
can't.
with just taxing that
Yeah,
piece of land that you got, that they're
because
gonna
she
tax
she
the
can
shit out of
never
it.
she can't conceptualize a time where her tits are not going to make $5 million.
Right. Little does she know on day 300,
year
Yeah,
year
like
30, year
all the
30, day 105.
yeah.
all
Once you pass
the
28, nobody cares about them tits no more. Cause
It's
No,
a
but
wrap.
not even that. The novelty of that was you just got here. You just got to the point where none of us are going to prison. And we've watched you grow up since you were 14 on Dr. Phil, and we've been waiting to see him. And now we're ready. Here's the money. It is, the way people framed it on the internet. I get why people were so creeped out by it. I don't know. I wasn't shocked at all. Like it, I just expected it. And a matter of fact, if um, I, is there more dignity in the Britney Spears route? Like we watched you grow here, and all of a sudden you in a Catholic school outfit that's barely below your pussy, and your tits are basically out, not complete. I mean, and because you're singing a song that was made with studio magic, like that's somehow more classy. Bad Barbie just cut through all the bullshit. Like, look, I know what y'all want. I know what this is about. I've been pretending to be a musician because I'm not 18 yet. So let's just cut through the bullshit. Here's my titties and my twat. Send me money. And this has been the formula. How many stars or television personalities went from this is the wholesome character to entertain your children to this is the whore for everybody to oogle at? I mean, we got to be in the 30s or 40s at this
This
point.
is the age of what Kim Kardashian has started. This is basically the end result of it.
yeah,
This is what Kim Kardashian has created.
yeah. She
This
was
is the end
definitely one of the
result.
ones to successfully
Paris
monetize.
Paris Hilton. This is the result
Yeah,
of it all.
yeah. But it's all at the other end of this is all men. It's all
It's men's
men
fault
who
because
can't control their
we're
boners.
the we're the ones who are paying for it and having our dicks hard. It's our fault at the end of the day.
And for some reason, women, I don't know, but see, you could say something similar, not the same thing, but you could say something similar about like a fucking Justin Bieber or something. Like, little girls were sweating over him. They were
And grown women,
and
The
grown women
jokes.
getting moist,
grown pedophile women
getting
have
moist, looking at him and shit. The
get
same thing
moist.
with the Twilight franchise. There were 40-year-old women showing up to watch Edward and the other guy fight with their shirts off because because
Because that's what
they're
vampires and wolves do when
because their nether
they
parts had been
have an
dry.
argument.
Their nether parts were dry and sleeping for years. And then when they saw
Is this how
Twilight,
Is this a sexual like dream for women? Is like when men get to fights, we just rip our shirts off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like
Absolutely. We were just talking about this. You rip your shirt off, you tear the other guy to shreds, and then you slide back to me on one knee with a bouquet of flowers.
Right. Then you write her home and cry in front of her.
Yep.
That's clearly a fantasy.
Yeah, and you gotta be young too. You gotta be young and pubescent.
Right.
You can't be no grown man with a beard and shit like that. You gotta be a young kid just out of high school. Look how many female teachers are fucking their students. And it's getting worse and worse. They're fucking their students. They're having gangbangs and shit.
That shit pisses me off because I've never had that experience.
No, that's rape, bro. You'd have been raped if you had that experience.
I would have been perfectly fine with that,
And
depending on the
and
teacher.
that's what society has done to us. It made
Hey.
us think that it's okay to be raped by a woman. It's never okay, Doobie. It is never okay.
It's not your fault, bro. It's not your fault.
It is never okay for your teacher to blow you when you're 17, Doobie. It's not right.
It's not. It's not okay.
The real version of that scene is two dudes in a bar and they fight and fall over each other all clumsily and their guts are hanging out and it's just embarrassing.
Did you
Like
see?
that's the reality of that fight. But in her mind, it's a sexy ass vampire and a chiseled ass lichen, and they just go and it's all for her. They're willing to kill each other for her.
I forgot to post it to you guys, but there's an article. And the article said the police stopped the mass shooting from a Yo Gotti concert. Because they stopped a man from doing a mass shooting in a Yo Gotti concert because he said he was going to kill everybody after his girlfriend broke up with him. Keep in mind, when I seen the picture of the dude, I'm like, this is a typical white drunk man who pretty much got his hurt feelings, and y'all actually took it serious for once. I'm like, how is this almost stopping a mass killing?
So that's like if somebody gets on the internet drunk and says, I'm going to blow up the whole world, and the cops
And then the
arrest them,
police
did they
just
stop a nuclear attack, a nuclear terrorist attack?
I'm like, how could you write that as an article? You almost stop a mass shooting.
Look, man,
At a Yo Gotti concert.
Right.
cops have been doing this shit since 9/11. 9/11, they've been getting on the internet and baiting people to do shit, and they'll be like, "Yo, we stopped them," and they're looking for anything because they have such bad publicity right now. Because the Uvalde dude, the Buffalo mass, both of those mass shooters were in communication with FBI people, and they were known about on these chat rooms.
And they're always whenever they catch these dudes that always end up doing it, they're like, "Oh, he was in our radar, but we missed him." I'm like, how?
Right.
How? If he was in your radar, how did you miss the fact that he had all this other stuff? The amount of evidence that they have on these rappers that they're locking up on these RICO charges, you telling me you didn't know Billy had just bought an AR? Like there's nothing. There's like you didn't catch that.
If you were already watching him, wouldn't you have access to that? Wouldn't you know he had $9,000 to buy all this fucking equipment? That's one thing. I'm not a conspiracy theorist on all this shit, but that's definitely some shit where I'm like,
especially if it's the feds. The feds could just go to your bank and said, "We want to look into that person's information," and the bank cannot say no.
You motherfuckers closed down PayPal. You motherfuckers shut people down from Chase Bank. You motherfuckers got people pulled off of Twitter and all types of shit.
Apple gets hacked.
But was
all
the
the
shooter?
time.
The question is, was the shooter transphobic?
That's true.
See.
As far as we know, in the what was the most recent one? The most recent one was the July 4th shit. That dude was trans, apparently.
So they shouldn't even lock him up technically.
Technically, he deserves a parade.
Right, because the only reason he shot those people up is because of transphobia. Clearly, they were all dinosaur racists. Bigots is what they were. So, but it's all fuckery. We know. We already know by now. The entire simulation, the stage of the simulation we're at right now, is like when back in the day you'd play SimCity and you play diligently for a while. You do all the roads right. You put the power plant where it's supposed to be. Like you're doing all the dope shit. You start tweaking the taxes, and then eventually 2 or 3 hours into the game you get bored and you just put a fucking volcano in the middle of downtown. You just start wrecking everything, and you make you say you play Roller Coaster Tycoon. Yeah, it's fun. We're gonna put a roller, and then after an hour or two, you make a roller coaster that's basically a death machine and crash it into the middle of the park just to see what happens. That's where the simulation is right now. It's like, let's just be as absurd and destructive as we can possibly be, and people are just living in it. Shit is absolutely off the rails, diabolical right now. The more you look at the world, the crazier it fucking is, the less logic you can see. And it doesn't seem to be like within the simulation, I can't identify a tangible, real road to fixing the shit and getting it back to normal, if there is a normal. I don't see it. I haven't seen it in a long time. And anybody who you listen to who says that they know what to do, you can pretty much slide all their ideas off the table
What's normal?
within a few minutes.
What's normal at this point? Like we've been doing wild shit for years. Like what is this normal way of doing things?
No, yeah, normal now is the puritanical shit. For some people, that would be the normal. It's like, first of all, what you need to do is kill all the blacks and gays, and then force monogamy, shotgun marriages, all that kind of shit. Like, that's the normal that some people want. I saw a video recently of a guy who was like 100 and something years old soldier from whatever war being 100 would make you have fought in, World War II or some shit like that. Dude's 100
Yeah.
years old. He's sitting in his uniform and his fucking medals and all that shit, and he's crying, literal tears out of his eyes, because he's like, this is not the world we fought for. I'm pretty sure they showed him some video of, like, what's your pronouns, pink haired gay teachers drag at the school, and like that kind of shit. And he was crying, bro. This is not the world we fought for. And I'm
It's
like,
not the America my boys died for.
right.
The
And for a
boys.
few seconds, I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, you probably also say that about black people drinking out of the same water fountain as white people. Like, that's just the that's just the era you come
definitely,
from.
bro.
A lot of shit probably
That's
don't make
not
sense
the
to you.
America he was fighting for.
A lot of this shit though, he's like, wait a minute, that black man and that white woman are
That's probably
married.
what he was crying at. He probably saw a black person drinking a water fountain, and he was like, "This is not the America."
You guys are so
I
you
want
just
this to build.
epic racism, and he's seeing pictures of like little kids twerking.
Yeah. He's like, wait, who does that nigger belong to? Why are you just out here walking around with no papers? This is not the America I fought for.
We used to block them from these neighborhoods for years.
Right, integrated. What the fuck is this? So it's like,
going on?
I have to take those tears with a grain of salt. I can't imagine, but I get it. His pain is real though. Like, it's not like he was fronting. This is a 100-year-old soldier. I don't think he was fronting, but his pain was real. He was really confused and crying, like, I don't recognize the world anymore. But how many 100-year-old people recognize the world? You show them a fucking cell phone with a video face on it, they'd be like, what the fuck is this? Like, everything makes you crazy at that age. Like, you don't understand none of this shit. So, and that's just how it's going to be. We're at the stage right now where we're not understanding it. There's a fucking 11-year-old trans child that completely understands what's going on and where the world needs to go. And we're just like, hey, buddy, I'm out of the loop. I'm over 40. I don't fucking get it. Eventually, one day you're the person playing fucking ding dong ditch, ringing people's doorbells and running, and the next day you're saying, get off my lawn. This is just the human experience, bro. You're gonna get to the stage, and if you don't get to that stage, you're the weirdo. You're the guy who's still at the club dressing way too young than he should be, trying to talk to chicks who are 20 years younger than him because he doesn't understand how cool he's not. That's what happens.
This is some unprecedented clownery, though. You talking about like 4 or 5 affluent, influential, high-ranking citizens going before congressional committees that are telling you that you can't tell the difference between a man and a woman. This shit is laughable to every other culture on the face of the planet, to the animal kingdom. This is some basic shit that all the other fucking creatures on the planet are seeming to figure out just fine. But we're talking about a Supreme Court justice, fucking a congresswoman, a fucking a professor at a college. These are people that are saying with a straight face, like, I don't know. I mean, what? How?
It's because they're afraid of the outlash that they're gonna
Are
get.
they afraid at this point? I think
Because it can't.
drink.
But I'm just saying, like, at some point in time, like, Yeah, it has to be stupidity because it's like you can't just be like, well, I think a woman is this or I think a man is that. Why is this? Why is it so hard for you to like just sit there and just be like, why does it? Why do you have to be politically correct to describe something? Like that
Our
makes no sense.
educated people, professors, Supreme Court justices can't do some basic gender identification. Just basic shit. That if that's the result of being educated, how the fuck are you? How is any sane person like, no, 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 I'm gonna send my kid to college. Here's 40 grand a year. To educate them so much that they can't tell the difference between a dick and a pussy. Just go ahead and do that. Make them
Yeah,
that educated.
fuck
But
out of
That's
here
so
just
with
because
that.
you have a vagina doesn't make you a woman.
Let me tell you something. Let me
there
tell
you
you
go.
something. If you get sick and you're in the hospital, determining on no matter what surgical procedure you had, we need to know what you are to take care of you properly.
That's
Absolutely.
because you
Nobody.
guys are white supremacists,
Right.
racist bigots. That's why.
I'm just
See, that's it. That's the bottom line. If a person's in there and they need some kind of surgery and you need to know what their genitals are, then you're just outdated. This is archaic medicine.
you're
You,
gonna die if you lie. All I have to say about that one. I'm just
Look, this is I came across in perfect allegory for modernity. I was reading up on uh Roman bathhouses,
oh shit.
and there was
please,
I was
please tell
doing
us more.
research. So
Tell us
I,
how.
I'm reading about these giant communal toilets. Now this is Rome. This is the light of the world. This is the civilization that all successful civilizations afterwards have modeled themselves after. This is built on the shoulders of Greece and ancient Egypt and ancient Sumer. I mean, this is the legacy of humanity at its finest. Okay, and they looked at nature and said, "Look, you're gonna go squat by a tree and drop a deuce, let it fall into the dirt and grow mushrooms and other shit out of it? That's fucking stupid. Let me tell you what we're gonna do." They created like this giant trough of shitters, and people would have basically it almost looked like a boardroom full of toilets. And everybody would go and sit and hang out. It was a place to socialize and shit. And the first thing I'm thinking is just the smell. Like there's 30 people in a room just all shitting together and talking.
And the
Like
shit's not going nowhere.
it had to smell awful.
In
And
Rome, that's an
not
aphrodisiac.
maybe. And so when you're getting ready to wipe, there's no toilet paper. Nothing is disposable. There's a communal loofah
Oh
on the
my
end of a
god,
stick
bro.
that everybody shares. Everybody wipes their ass with the sponge on the stick. This is their alternative. And so because it was so unsanitary, people would often get bit in the ass by rats because rats would go through there. And so people would just be sitting taking a shit, all of a sudden, bam, you got a rat bite on your ass. And also because of the methane buildup, occasionally there would be
Oh,
explosions. People would die. There would be a straight up Die Hard trilogy of shit, and the fucking place would explode and people would die. And it happened enough that people would pray to Fortuna, the god of good fortune or goddess of good fortune, while they took a shit to try to protect themselves from explosions. So this was modernity's answer. This was human beings at their most sophisticated. We found something better than nature. Fuck just shitting by a tree and growing delicious, mind altering mushrooms. Fuck that. Let's have a place where we share a sponge on a stick that we all wipe our shit out of our asses with, and occasionally some of us will die from methane explosions. That's a much better
and
alternative.
after we're done, we'll go civilize the local savages.
Right. Let's teach the barbarians how to live. Fucking backwards ass Visigoths.
God,
Those fucking dummies.
yeah, these are the people who set the stage for everything that we're living right now. So I get it. It's all like it's all absurdity. It's all absolute ridiculousness at every level. The only and I don't want to say I hate because I love it, but I know we keep going back to the same idea. Everybody in every sector is looking at the world right now. People who completely disagree and they would self-identify on opposite ends of the spectrum, but they're both like, yo, we need to buy some land and build a fucking gate around it and not let all these other crazy people in. They're all doing the same thing. So the fact that so many different people are talking about it gives me hope, because I really do think that's the model that's going to survive. And then we'll know who the worst people are by the ones who don't stay on their own compound.
It's gonna be a Judge Dredd-esque type of world, big ass city states.
Yeah, when people don't stay on their own compound, that's going to be the first sign that you're a scumbag, because you should have everything that you need. Like, you organize your intentional community. It's all gay people in there, right? So what's your problem? Why are you storming our shit? Why are you trying to tear our shit down? Because you don't have enough queers in there. All the queers are on your compound. You invited them. You said it was a queer compound. It's in the title. So why are you coming over here? Or the white supremacists. Why are you coming to the all black compound trying to fucking burn it down? Or you don't have enough children, or like what's happening? Why can't you guys figure out how to organize yourselves to a high enough frequency where you're happy enough to just mind your business? That's
Or
it.
Terrence Howard in Uganda lecturing people on hydrogen and eventually saying, okay, maybe we need some white Jew scientists to help us out.
Yeah.
There- There's a lot of people that are going to have rude awakenings because in their mind, they have it so neatly packaged. If just this, if just that, then the world would be at. They have this algebraic equation in their head, and they're going to find out, like, oh, this shit is not as simple as I thought it would be. Like, white people just aren't the problem. Gay people just aren't the problem.
Listen, Terrence was an Iron Man. He got into character way too deep. He saw that this guy was building amazing things, and he
You mean
he
Iron Man? He saw that Iron Man
Terrence,
was building amazing things.
he had to leave the movie and see if this was real.
he didn't have to leave. He wanted too much money, more money than he was actually worth to play
He
that role.
wanted to
And
make
bit
nitrogen
by bit,
technology that no one has ever made before that he saw in the Iron Man script.
He was like, yo, wait, what's that thing glowing in your chest? I heard you say in the script that it could power a whole city. He's like, yeah. So how do I make one? I want to power a city in Uganda. He's like, no, it's Terrence.
That's
It's just a movie. He's like, no,
no,
man,
no,
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 man,
no,
we gonna
no,
build this shit,
no.
man.
We're gonna make this. I gotta ask for more money. This doesn't seem
Yeah,
right.
y'all got to pay me $3 million
Right.
because I need to build an arc reactor for Uganda.
Like, and we haven't heard from him since.
Fucking
Did
goofball.
you see him talk at Oxford?
Yes. Now,
Oh
you know
man,
what the worst thing is about that? Is that there is real spirit science connected to the concept of the flower of life and why it's been
right.
present in so many ancient cultures, why people, like, it does represent some powerful ideas and things, but you don't just get to hold that piece of paper up and be like, you know how we're going to change the world? This shape right here. See, you guys are thinking in Euclidean straight lines when you should be thinking in curves. Now give me money. We're going to
Boom.
become an intergalactic society with this right here. You see this picture on this paper? This is what's going to take us to space.
But have we extrapolated from that knowledge to do anything practical or productive from this information? Like, what's the next step? Hold on, you're
Giving
getting ahead
Terrence Howard money.
That's right.
That's the next
First,
step.
first the money, then we'll discuss.
No, I can't tell you all my ideas because, white supremacist devils will have me killed to take my ideas. So first, give me the money. I'm going to become a reclusive trillionaire. And then when I emerge from from behind the curtain as the great Oz only can, I'll have a
Just
new machine. Like he said, he created a new system of flight.
listen.
Those were his words.
Terrence Howard, who won a
If-
Grammy for playing a pimp,
He said he
had
created a new.
one
Follow up.
one stunt on the Marvel. He had one job to do, and he asked for more money.
Listen,
Yeah,
he said he
somebody.
created a new type of flight. Those were the words that he used.
And he went to Uganda.
Right. Because he wants to protect the sovereignty of Uganda. First of all, you're lying. First and foremost, you sandbagging, bro. Like there's no fucking way you created a new type of flight and you just didn't sell that shit to white billionaires. Because you know what would be more useful to Uganda than a new type of drone? The money that the white billionaires would have gave you for that new type of drone. that would have helped Uganda more. You don't take the technology to Uganda like, oh, we're gonna protect your crops with drone. Get the fuck out of here, bro. So he said he created a new type of flight, and then he said he put that technology into a drone that has military use, agricultural use. It could do anything. Like, I don't know if it's gonna fly and shoot seeds into the dirt, or I don't know what the fuck it's gonna do. But then he shows it to you, and the reason it's a new type of flight is because instead of being like ergonomic, aerodynamic, little, with the 4 helicopter blades on it, it's shaped like the molecule that the technology is supposedly based on.
Doesn't this sound like he just like stole the script for Iron Man 2? Like he just saw the script and he realized that he wasn't gonna survive and he had to make like a new thing, and then he's like, wait a minute, this has to be real. I just feel like I just can't picture how like this man just invented this new technology. Like maybe I'm a dinosaur bigot.
How did you say you created a new type of flight when you have this shit? It got propellers on it.
Did you didn't see Iron Man? You didn't see it?
We've all, anybody who's intellectually curious, we've all had those moments where we got we peeled back a new layer of the onion in terms of information or awareness, and our minds are blown. And you get that thing where you're like, holy shit, this is amazing. Everybody needs to know about this. And then eventually, as you get older and you have this experience more and more, once you get that feeling, you have the wisdom to say, other people know this. This is just me figuring this out. But other people know this and know it better than me. But when drugs are involved, you're so much more convinced, and you're so much, and also too, actors tend to be people that have their ass kissed incessantly. Nobody tells them no. They're like a rock star or a politician. And, you're surrounded by sycophants who are just going to be your yes men and support. So it's very easy to start really believing your own shit. And there was nobody that loved him enough to tell him, Terrence, this is, you don't have it like you think that you have it. Just like when Kanye put out that Donda business plan. Does anybody remember that flow chart of nothingness that Kanye put out? It was just a list of things in boxes. Like, and nobody sat him down like, dude, this is not a business plan. This is not an organizational chart. This is nothing. Like, I love you too much to let you embarrass yourself by putting that out there, because anybody that knows about this type of shit is going to look at it and they'll never take you seriously again. Like, you didn't do your due diligence. You just put this shit out. And that's what it is. He got a new drug dealer. He was getting him some super hard fly shit that he never had before. He went back and read through some of the shit, and he had the Eureka moment, and he's been fucking up his career ever since. And nobody around him loves him enough to tell him the truth. And there's too many guilty white people that are gonna indulge him to not be offended and be like, fuck it, let him speak at Oxford. What?
Listen,
Like,
are y'all seeing
like,
this?
Didn't James Baldwin give a speech there? What the fuck are you doing?
Listen, man.
You letting Howard talk about the oldest symbols and show it? Stop it.
Are you guys seeing this right now?
Yeah.
It's called the linchpin, right? Now, it has a bunch of propellers on it. If flight is achieved with propellers, and then you build a new drone that also has propellers, can that honestly, accurately be called a new form of flight?
Absolutely not. And I'm an idiot.
I don't give a fuck how many propellers you put on it or what. Okay, so this drone has 4 propellers on it and they all face one direction. My drone has 8 propellers and they're all over the fucking place. There's one facing left, one right, one diagonal through the middle. Is that a new form of flight, though? Am I missing something? Or is it not using the same science that every other drone before it was using?
We'll know at 100, guys. We'll know at 100. We'll have some type of badges in our chests, and we'll be crying.
I can power this whole city with my chest.
Fucking Terrence Howard actually had it.
I don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
This is what happens to civilizations. What happens is human beings, they get on the Babylonian blueprint just long enough to where they really start just loving the smell of their own shit, and whatever cosmic force, God or universal law, or justice, whatever you want to attribute it to, is like, listen, I need to show you who these motherfuckers really are. You're ruled by incompetent children.
Why was he
And
in Uganda? What was the purpose of him being there?
listen,
That's the
I
next
could
stage of the grift.
listen,
That's
he's
just the
over
next stage
there.
of the grift, bro.
Listen, he's over there explaining to them this new scientific revelation that apparently is Oxford worthy. He's going and sharing it with Uganda because he's deemed Uganda worthy to have this information, and he genuinely cares, and he's going to help these people with this revelatory ingenuity that's been derived from the flower of life that only he can see.
You know what though? If he goes out there and he's scamming all of them, more power to him. They deserve
Look,
it.
it's David Koresh. Listen. When you talk about the cult model, listen, dude. Ted Kaczynski prophesized about it. He said, as this shit falls apart and it gets worse and worse, he used the word cult at least 20 times in his manifesto. More and more cults will spring up. You are ahead of the curve because, dude, you see the inevitable outcome of all of this shit as more of the incompetence becomes exposed and there's less and less trust in institutions. People are going to be looking to cultivate these little communities, and more of these cults are going to pop up. And him and Kevin Gates, they're on that shit. They see it. It's like, look, my shit. Listen, I can't convince anybody over here. I tried Oxford. They were polite, but nobody. I had no investors, believe it or not. Let me see what I could get done in Uganda. Everybody's going around their shit and giving their spiel and seeing who wants to get on.
So you're saying that
Everybody now.
you can't evolve until you're ready to eat a nigga whole dick. That's basically what you're saying. Because that's basically what you're saying.
I just want to know what that's slang for.
He's not prepared to go down that rabbit hole. I'm still trying to understand like what Kevin Gates was saying like 5 years ago.
Kevin Gates is a bipolar. He probably has dissociative identity disorder.
It's clearly like jail bipolar disorder.
Yeah, premature enlightenment.
Like it's clear.
He don't know what the fuck he doing out here, and sometimes he stumbles on shit that sounds pretty cool. Like he can relay some information that sounds pretty good because he just read it somewhere or he just heard it somewhere.
And then he just goes left.
Completely left.
He just goes left.
I love how he told
left.
a really harrowing
like Orlando shit, but we're still trying to figure out if Brown's on drugs or not. But then and just says wild shit.
So he's definitely on drugs. I saw 30 seconds of that Vlad interview when I was out.
But when he goes to other people's, they ask him about it, he's like, no, I don't take anything. I don't do anything. Like he's stone cold. Will look at you in the eye and tell you he doesn't take anything. No. And then he'll have like these wild rants afterwards. Like
go from talking to Raven Simone pussy to singing I tap out. Oh, this is not the interview for me. Yo, he is on some new shit. He's on the shit that in 5 years will be the phenomenon everybody's talking about.
He's ahead of the game,
dude. He's on some special kind of drugs.
He was already taking fentanyl in the Disney years.
Dude, I just love that, like Kevin Gates. I love how he got on the radio to tell the story of how this is him explaining the type of things that he does in the world. Like people don't understand how enlightened he is and how special he is. He came across a woman whose car had broken down, and he got out of the car because he knew that he could start her battery with his bare hands. So he went over to her, lifted her hood, grabbed the battery with his bare hands, and she started the car. And he ended his story that was being told on a national radio station by saying, I told her, speak nothing of this. I mean, this is the person that you're dealing with. I told her, speak nothing, because this is dangerous shit. If people know I'm out here starting cars with my bare hands, who knows what can happen. So speak nothing of this, at least
But
until
go,
I tell
but
the
yet to
story.
go to the radio nationally
That's
televised.
not the phrasing of a man that wants to make a fucking cult.
Right. Speak
That's
nothing
what
of
you
this.
say when you're starting a cult. Tell no
Right.
man of this feat.
Yeah. Yeah. That's some gangster shit right there. Speak nothing of this. I'm
Look,
gonna.
and when he
That's
explained it, he was like, "Look, listen, you don't want to believe it, don't believe it. I don't care. Hey, I'm lying. Don't worry about it." But he's like, the fact of the matter is I could have just paid to have this lady's car towed or paid to have somebody come and fix it.
Right. Right. But
But
no.
God told me to go and pray on it
Right.
and to make it work. And that's how it went down. So he had a very rational explanation from it. And then he starts getting into, we need to be in tune with our woman's periods. It's not really a period. I just call it that because you can know what I mean. But it's really a menses and it's a cleansing of the entire house,
oh
and you
my
should
god.
burn sage. Because listen, he believes his own shit. That's
And
why when I
yeah.
saw him,
And other people believe it with him.
I'm
And
like, dude, he's a cult leader. He's got the blueprint. I can't
My dog
argue.
rocking the feather too heavy on his hair.
and
Right. And then he wants to give he's like, Puerto Rico is what the Spanish called it. It's actually Isla and Canto, which is enchantment. I'm like, that's Spanish, bro. So you'd have been better off talking about Jamaica or Haiti. Like, yeah, these were Taino words. Because he was like, no, it's really named by the Tainos. It's like, yeah, Jamaica was a Taino word, not Puerto Rico.
The Tainos in Puerto Rico been died. They did not survive long enough to even have enough bloodline to make it
oh,
through.
bro, we
Like,
getting way too deep into this shit.
Right,
Like
right,
this
I'm giving too much credit, right,
this
right.
guy who said you should be in tune with your woman is the same one after his baby mama left him for cheating, got on stage and said, "Fuck you, bitch. You knew what I was when you met me." That- The same guy. Be in tune
this
with your women, but if she leave, you call her a bitch on stage in front of everybody. This is
Listen,
what
but
we're talking about. It's bipolarity, bro. He's crazy.
in the interview, that's his best friend, and he goes seamlessly between, yes, as a Muslim, I can have four wives, but I really only want to have one. And yes, I tore her up, and we were thugging it out all day. And yes, I found out she was my cousin afterwards. But I'm not going to stop just because she's my cousin.
Right.
My family, beautiful people. What am I supposed to do?
Right.
stop fucking your cousin.
Seamlessly goes
No.
into, yeah, and I'm all about connecting with God and spiritual enlightenment. But of course, I eat the ass aggressively. You have to.
With another man eating a box at the same time.
All over the
It's
place.
Yeah.
que-
Yeah.
questionable behaviors. Hence why the whole gay people taking over hip hop, I refuse to have a conversation with when this has been taken over. Like, we could go back to the '70s and look at the outfits of these people.
I'm not sure there was ever a time when hip hop wasn't run like
That's
yeah,
but that's what I'm
always.
saying. But like the ultra masculine will be like,
Very-
they're taking over, they're taking over. I'm like, sir,
I-
it's been done.
The ultra masculine are just the tops.
It's
They're just
That's
the
it.
tops of the community. That's all this is. Let's not front. The super masculine they're just the tops, bro. We always known what this is.
you haven't
That's
been paying
that's
attention.
really been the polarity of hip hop is just gravitating to the tops and bottoms. It's
Yeah.
always gay. Like in the '70s when people wearing eyeliner and shiny suits, bottoms,
Yeah.
bottoms ruled the day. Bottoms ruled the day. Then it started getting a little more aggressive and thugged out. People are lifting weights, talking about going to prison. That's the tops.
Yep.
They exchange whose shit is hitting the hardest. But listen, I just found out what get your shit pushed in means. I always thought get your shit pushed in was like you got like a hole in you.
Yeah, like your
Like
face was crumpled and fucking
was caved in. Like, yo, you got your shit pushed in. No, literally your shit is pushed in up your ass by a dick. Get your shit pushed.
You should know what pushing P stands for too.
Oh wait, what is that? I've been hearing that a lot lately. What's that?
I was told in Gerald terminology to mean something else.
I don't even know what it's supposed to mean. Like I'm
You're pushing
completely out of the loop.
peanut. Well, I don't know what the new way because it's from a song from the dude who's locked up right now with Young Thug, Gunna. He made a song called Pushing P, but from what I was told, it's also jail terminology where you're pushing your penis.
Oh, okay. Check this. So I just Googled it. Right. You want to hear a fucking stone faced lie? Pushing P is a slang term that most commonly used to roughly mean acting with integrity and style while maintaining and displaying one's success.
So that just started.
That don't even sound accurate.
It doesn't give the origin though. Like, don't when there's an idiom like that, aren't you supposed to explain where the phrase came from and why it's that?
Yeah, I think
Like,
this is. Yeah,
Is this Urban Dictionary? You got to go to Urban Dictionary.
that is the Black Messiah's fact checking site that he sent me. Like, I'm reading this shit, I'm like, dude, I know you want to hate Tucker, but if you read some of the shit that they're just saying, like, it's not even trying. It does such a. The thing is people have been sold on the fact that if they read something, it's authoritative. Oh, well, it must be authoritative. Once you get people wrapped up in that mind state, oh, it's authoritative. Oh, it's Snopes. This is what they do. And then people don't actually examine the substance. Like, you're not running that bullshit by me. Pushing P means to act with integrity because why?
Yeah.
Give me the origins of that phrase. Why is anything being pushed? And why is P shorthand? Shorthand for what?
Urban Dictionary says it's the act of slinging a dick on your homie's face.
There you go.
That sounds more accurate to me. Like your homie fell asleep at the studio, you push pee all over his face, and everybody laughs at him. That sounds more accurate. I don't believe. First of all, you guys are drug dealers and gang affiliated murderers. Why would I believe that it means acting with integrity?
There you go.
Why would I believe that? What
It's
part of
it's
your,
the lie
your
of the
real
code
world
that they sell you.
activities? What part of your real world activities makes me believe that you're moving with integrity?
After you're singing about the illegal activities that you do.
Yeah, this motherfucker be talking about putting ecstasy pills in people's butts. Why would I believe? No, bro. I know what pushing P mean. You're not gonna fool me, bro. You can't trick me, bro.
Hey,
Yo, if somebody you just met,
he's pushing P now.
if a dude you just met, if one of the guys in your gaming party was like, "Yo, we all gonna get together and push some P. You want to come with us?" I'll be, I don't.
That's already happened to me. There's a dude that I play with. I haven't played with him in a while, but he did do some time. So he's not with any like type of gay shit at all. Like he hates all of it. Like you can't even joke with him.
Like they used to say, push the P. Like they used to.
So we were playing with somebody, and like he started singing the song. He's like, "Do you know what that means, motherfucker?"
Keep that shit away from me, bro.
It's for friends. I'm gonna hit you in the face with my dick.
Yeah, so yeah, that I ain't with it, bro. Y'all ain't gonna fool me. These motherfuckers are terrible. But
I'm too old. I'm at the age of being too old of keeping up with these slangs now.
Nah, fuck all that,
too
bro.
old for that though. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, thank you. I don't care anymore. I barely kept up with the slang when I was younger, because I didn't really care. A lot of shit I let fly right by me. I'm like, not grabbing onto that one. It is what it is. I've never really worked hard to sound cool as far as the way you talk. Like, and it always bugs me out when I hear people, because it's like this can't be. Well, I guess it could be in some circles, but I feel like when you out talking like that, it's like you're trying to make this a thing. You're trying to make it happen. I never feel like this is just actually the way this person talks in all settings, and this is just you hearing their.
No, that's a group of friends.
Because
That's a group of
people. There's people that you can hear that. Oh, you just got your upgrade. Because I
Right.
talked to you like 18 months ago, and there's all new terms that you've incorporated
Right.
into your repertoire.
You got a new friend group, and they pushing P all over your face. And so, you got to learn all the right slangs and terminology so you can move up in the rankings. So you get to push some P instead of always having the P pushed on you.
the only time you need to learn like new slang and terminologies when it's drug references. It's the only time you need to learn new
Even
new
then,
slang
like, why
references.
would you need to learn new drug references? Just
Because
say-
some people say gas, some people say za, some people say weed.
if
I don't
somebody,
know.
if an adult ever, if I was having a discussion with an adult and he was like, "Yo, my homie got the good prices on the za," I'd be like, "All right, good day, sir." I'm just gonna walk away. You're a cop. You're definitely a cop.
If they're the 30s and up, yes. If they're like 25, you have to roll with the punches.
I'm not rolling with no punches, bro. I'm not rolling with no punches at all. If you refer to cannabis as za, I don't want to talk to you. I'm done.
I was in Atlanta and like the dude was like, "Do you know where gas is?" And I'm like, "Oh, the gas station is
Yeah, it's at
down
the
the
Wawa,
block."
motherfucker. What do you think it is?
And he's looking at me like I'm supposed to know everything he's saying right now. I'm like, bro, I'm not the one.
I don't do
I'm
well
not
with
the
strangers asking me about drugs. I will never direct you to where to find drugs. Every time it's ever happened to me, okay, I'll say 97% of the times that it's happened to me, it was white people. And 100% of those 97% of times, I accuse them of being racist for asking me where drugs are. There's never been a good interaction like, oh yeah, I'll help you find some drugs.
Oh,
White folks will pull. I'll be walking through St. Pete or something, and some white dude will pull over and be like, yo, you know where I can get some bud, bro, some trees. I'm like,
my
oh, so,
personal
so you think the
favorite
black
is
guy
the
knows where to find the drugs?
if you have dreads too, they'll stop and ask you for weed.
Don't
That's
talk to
heavy.
me like that, bro. Don't ask me nothing.
I've met a couple white folks that are like, if you got dreads, ask him. It's guaranteed.
Listen,
No,
I have a cousin, and I've seen him do it. He could go, and this was in the '90s, any Walmart in America and find weed.
I
He
believe
he
that.
had he had some kind of rate. He would just know who would sell weed, and he would hang out at a Walmart for 15 to 30 minutes, and he would find somebody that could get him some weed without fail.
That's
That's a
crazy.
talent. That's a good talent.
Yeah, just to identify drug people.
That's a
I,
talent. That's a talent I've yet to master. Like I would have to send my ex out to go find people who can sell drugs because she's a woman, so like they'll come to her. But like for me to see who can sell drugs, I could never figure it out.
Dude,
yo,
I feel like you walk in a thin line between finding some weed and getting sex trafficked. Like they have to
yeah.
be just as common. Like there's somebody who just wants to beat your ass and leave you in a ditch bloody somewhere because you asked the wrong person where to find weed. That just doesn't seem like a
Well,
safe
if that person
undertaking.
tells you follow me, you definitely should not keep going. If they don't have it on hand, they're definitely a horrible drug dealer.
That's
I
crazy.
just think there was maybe a different time where, like, if you had piercings, if you had tattoos, there were certain things that they weren't as ubiquitous as they are now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's a lot more people that are square, but have like have attributes that have been traditionally associated with. I know somebody that can get you drugs.
People in California tried to sell me weed when I was on Santa Monica Pier. I wanted to go see the shit that looked like Grand Theft Auto. So I had to go like to all these specific locations. Be like, oh yeah, that's that place. So I was on Santa Monica Pier, and people were like, in real life, just trying to be discreet, and they're like, yo, I got that guy, got that fire, bro, got that fire. I'm like, so does every shop on this fucking street. Like, what are you
That's
talking
gotta.
about?
That's like
And it's
those dudes that stop at the fucking intersection and sell you a bottle of water for $2.
Right. I could just go right there and get it for $1. Like, why would I buy it from you when I could drive 5 minutes up the road, walk into a dispensary, and they're gonna give me a free joint because it's my first time there? Like,
Right.
this is a really stupid hustle you got going for yourself over here, buddy.
it's
I
on
don't know.
tax. It's on tax.
I don't give a shit. I pay the tax for my peace of mind.
But also, I think too that they probably bank on the fact that if you're not from around there, I'm sure they get bites of people that
Yeah.
maybe
They
no. How
get
could you
bites.
be out there and not know? I just thought, how could you be in the at least the weed culture?
Yeah,
Because I don't consider weed culture drug culture anymore. It's two totally different cultures.
for sure, for sure. Cannabis culture is so
It's
normalized
either
right now.
it's
It,
either you put it in the same drug culture as alcohol, or it's just its own thing.
even
It's
alcohol,
all to me.
alcohol
It's
is way
all
worse.
drugs.
Ah,
To me, it's
Alcohol's way
all
dude.
worse, bro.
drugs. But yeah,
It's a
there's
different-
different levels, of course. But to me,
dude,
it's all drugs.
you could be a deacon that beats the shit out of his kids. You could be a fucking a pilot that's just irresponsible. You could be like there's a lot of people that can have drinking problems and they have some dark shit that you know what I mean? Like you could be a high functioning alcoholic. But
Listen, I was
it's
going to hell, and my family was not going to be saved because I smoked weed. Keep in mind, like he was sleeping with like everybody's wives.
Well,
I
see
was
that,
going,
yeah, well,
I was going to hell.
right.
of course.
But culture is different, and because I've been to different kinds of parties and parties where I'm like, oh, this is not from like I've been to spots where it looked like everybody was like on heroin, like people are just there's a black light, everybody's like on the wall, slumped
Everybody's
over,
tired.
and it was that culture. You know what I'm saying? I met, come up then and then.
we going to this party and it's like, okay, this ain't the kind of party this ain't for me. Like I'm not into that pill, especially now. Like I don't know how anybody could be into pills now. Like with all of the shit getting laced with fentanyl and people that are dying, like this
Especially illegal pills.
first
Like,
time
ugh.
you get pill.
Yeah, fuck all that. No, but they're already addicted. They can't get off them. And the government trying to attack shit like kratom and
They're not attacking
cannabis
shit because they get these pills from doctors. They're not attacking shit.
no, I mean
No,
they absolutely are. They tried to shut down kratom selling and kratom production because people are using it to get off opiates. And if you're using it to get off opiates, you fucking with their hustle. So there was a time, not right now at this moment, but a few years back, they was definitely trying to tighten the screws on people who were selling kratom and shit like that. In real life, they was fucking with you about selling a ground up plant leaf because they knew what the application of it was. The application is to stop people from taking opiates and stop their opiate addiction. It still gives them a vibe. You can still use it as a painkiller, but it's not addictive. And if you take too much or stop taking it instead of dying, like if you take too much kratom, you just throw up. If you
Right.
take too many opiates, you die. And they want you to take the opiates. So that's just real life goings on when it comes to the government and you muscling in on their territory. That's one of the main reasons. It's not the stigma. It's not the science. They know what cannabis does. They know what it can help for. They know what the practical applications of it
So
are.
many uses. So
They know
many
that
uses.
recreational cannabis is responsible for less car accidents and alcohol, all that other shit, but they don't give a fuck about that because they understand that it's going to take money away from alcohol and other things. So that's why they're dragging their feet with completely legalizing it for recreational purposes. All that shit about kids are gonna, they don't give a fuck about none of that. They don't give a fuck about, that's all subterfuge, that's all lies.
That was the dumbest argument. I remember that dude, that cop that's always on fucking the internet, was making at the time when Florida was first trying to get their shit going. And that was like the dumbest argument. They sell it as gummies. The kids. And like you go to a liquor store and you'll see like liquid bottles shaped like toys from like
Yeah,
in our
with blue
childhood.
and red
So
shit in it.
that's
and
not gonna
look like
confuse the
Kool-Aid.
child too. It's like
Cool.
what the fuck?
But it trickles
what the
down
fuck
into
is
the
your argument?
consciousness. He's a shill. He's a huckster, right? You know who he's working for. He don't want those marijuana or cannabis arrests to go away because all the money that they make from locking people up and charging them restitution, all it's a big cash game that goes with criminalizing marijuana. So he's a huckster, but it trickles down into the consciousness of regular people. I had a conversation with this chick I used to date years ago, fucking 20 years ago, more than 20, but she was I was talking about cannabis on Facebook and she came in to chime in and was like, yeah, well, I don't know how I feel about that because I don't want people to be out here and just high on weed doing all these things. I'm like, the law still says you don't operate the motor vehicle, don't operate heavy machine. It's the same as with alcohol. And her reply was, I wouldn't want a surgeon operating on me if he was high on weed.
But he's not gonna be high on weed operating.
Dumbass. Would you want a surgeon operating on you after you drank half a bottle of Patron?
And some of them are probably drunk who's operating
Right,
on you.
but that never occurred to them. Like, oh, just don't do the drugs when you're operating. She's just like, oh no, because people are gonna be like, it's just absolute. And this is not a person I would classify as just stupid, but this is what happens when you take in these ideas that they're trickling down into society and you just accept it without doing no critical thinking. I wouldn't want a surgeon. What would you want a surgeon operating on you high off or drunk? Like, is there any substance you would want them on? No, exactly. So
I don't
why
know,
the fuck
Adam.
would weed be any different?
Adderall, they might be a little more focused.
They might keep cutting though.
King.
they might, they might
if I-
not stop working.
Yeah, they might just keep cutting. Like, all right, I sold that up. What else can I fuck with while I'm in here?
what else is going on in here?
I think I'm a multitask. Let's
you need
cut another
bypass
piece.
surgery too? You're a little overweight there.
Yeah.
Let's tighten it up.
Let's get it in a lap band. Let's make it happen.
Fuck it.
Let's give her a BBL. She ain't got no ass.
Flip this bitch over, son. We
But
gonna keep
doctor,
working.
shut up.
Fuck it, I'm pulling
Yeah,
the double.
I got another 12 hours in this Adderall. I can get it done.
Yeah, I'm pulling the double. Flip her over.
So let's go.
Yo, did you
First,
see?
just go to the waiting room, see if anybody needs an elective procedure.
Pregnant. Let's take care of that for her right quick.
Yeah,
while,
fuck it.
while we're here.
Dude, did you see the fucking the doctor that raped the pregnant woman while she was having a C-section?
Jesus
That was kind
No,
of that was weird. That yeah, he was like supposed to be sewing her up, and he put his dick in her mouth. Like I don't know.
Yeah, bro. In real life,
And his picture looks like the type of guy to do some shit like that. To be fair,
in
I'll
real,
say.
this is the surgeon, and well, this was in Brazil, so let's just put that out there.
Yeah, like like I said, he does kind of look like the guy.
Yeah, this is in Brazil, and she was supposed to be getting sewn up from a C-section, and dude just opens her mouth and starts humping her mouth on camera. They got dude on video humping a passed out woman, a drugged woman's mouth. A surgeon, bro. Like, and I know the job doesn't matter. Like, it's not like we can, that's that enclosed cognition kicking in. Just because it's a doctor or anything else,
He basically date raped her though. Basically.
they wasn't even on the date.
uh,
No, but I mean, what I mean, like date rape, like you drug them up
they-
to like they're like so fucked up. He's like,
And
that's
he
what
was
I
in a
mean
room
by
with a
that.
lot of people. It kind of make me feel like this is a whole racket. Because to be that confident, you in a room with 5 or 6 other people, to be so confident. Like, first of all, we supposed to be sewing her up. Why are you gyrating up there by her face? And the other guys would
well, there's
just
a couple.
they just kept their head down and kept sewing. They were just pretending they didn't see him. Like,
Because a
this is just
secret,
what they
because it
do.
was a secret camera footage that came out.
Yeah,
That's how
exactly.
got him
So if
caught.
there's secret camera footage, that means they've been doing this shit for a while.
Yeah,
This wasn't their first rodeo for sure. That's some wild shit. He deserves a firing squad. Somebody need to just line him up. Just give him to
it's
the cartel.
hilarious. It's hilarious because there used to be this movie. I want to say it's called The Dentist. I don't know, 90s B era type shit. Where like, and I always think about that one because it's not the first time or like something like that has happened. And I always go back to that movie, but like he was like this serial killer, but he was a dentist, and like that was like one of the scenes where like the girl's boyfriend was like in the other room, and like he started having like these delusions, and like he had her drugged up, but she was like real drugged up, but in his mind she was talking to him, and like he ended up like almost kind of doing it, but he didn't end up doing it, but she ended up waking up cursing him out, but nothing ended up happening to it. But I always go back to that movie and I always think about that. I'm like, how how normal is that these surgeons do some shit like that?
Probably a lot. And also something else that we probably don't want to think about. I don't know if it's more or less egregious because of the condition, but people who work in morgues, there's a
They
lot.
sell
Yeah.
they sell your body parts too.
Well,
There's
there's a
one-
lot of weird activity going on in morgues. There's been a lot of dudes who have been caught doing freaky shit with the bodies, taking pictures for Reddit, like or whatever weird websites that love that kind of shit. So there's a lot of weird guys that work in morgues and they do a lot of wild shit while
Body
they're in
parts
there.
are being sold heavily too.
But if it's a dead person and you feel like you got to rub one out in a open cavity, like I mean,
Uh,
if you're
I
not
don't get it.
if you're not killing people to bang their dead bodies, if you have a legitimate job where you got to handle dead bodies and those dead bodies happen to turn you on, I'm not sure how upset I am about that. It's a weird motherfucker.
That's less egregious than the surgeon mouth rape.
Right. I would think so. I'm sure there's a phobia or something I can be accused of that makes me terrible for saying that, but I just feel like it's not as bad. And not that you should be doing that shit, but if you got somebody who wants to bang dead bodies, you got two choices. Either you work at a morgue and you rub one out before you finish taking all their guts out, or
And
you
got
become a
fresh
serial
product.
killer and you got to get the dead bodies yourself. So I think it's better off that he positions himself in a job to where he gets fresh meat. Well, not fresh, but new meat.
And also, you're violating somebody, and the person's consciousness is there. They're living with the trauma, or they become aware of it. You're doing a lot more harm. Versus, I mean, you can make it some kind of religious or spiritual argument that it's the body and it's you're desecrating something sacred. But I think the person's consciousness is more important than just their shell. And so, yeah, if you got to choose between the two, like, I would much rather be raped post-mortem if I had to choose. I mean, if I have to get raped, rape my dead body, not my passed out body, and I got to wake up with the.
That's what happened to Uma Thurman in the movie.
Oh no, yeah, she was passed out. Some was in
She was
there just
passed out. Some was rubbing it out and selling it on the side.
that was some of the most terrible shit I've ever
Well,
seen in a film.
Kill Bill.
Yeah, Kill Bill. Uma
Yeah.
Thurman's in a coma, and son was selling people buck Hey, so my name is Buck and I'm here to fuck. That's what he said when he came in the room. Buck was selling access to coma patients to random dudes like truckers. Just park their truck at the hospital, go see Buck, and go bang a chick that's in a coma. Like that is some horrible, horrible shit. I don't know where Quentin came up with that one, but that's fucking terrible, bro. That is terrible. And then she like but that's happened before. People in comas get pregnant, and then
Yeah,
they're
they
like,
got
wait a
pregnant.
minute, well something ain't right here, and yeah, I don't know what the punishment should be for that, but somewhere in the realm of chemical castration or something like that needs to happen, or just lobotomize the motherfucker. But then he becomes society's problem. Somebody got to pay for his existence then, so that's not cool.
Nah, we going Old Testament,
Put him
man.
in Epstein Island, and just he'll figure it out.
No, that's definitely Walrus Island
Yeah,
offense.
yeah, yeah, definitely. If you're willing to pay to have sex with somebody who's in a coma, you definitely go to Violence Island.
Especially in a society with sacred whores.
Right.
A lot of these crimes become that much more egregious when it's available. Like, look, you listen, you could go pick up trash and do 20 hours of community service to get a sacred whore pass, and you still raping coma patients? Yeah, there should be no. Basically, we need to make it so that murdering you is has 100% public support. Like, you live in a society where it's such a needless thing to be such a piece of shit that if you choose to to cross that Rubicon, nobody's gonna be arguing with the fact that we have to take you off of here.
Look,
Like, it's clear that that's the decision.
at least Ted Bundy had the decency to have his girlfriend play dead. I mean, when he wasn't killing women and raping their dead bodies, he had his own girlfriend pretend to be dead while they had sex. I feel like that's 100 times better than actually killing people and having sex with their dead bodies. Hire a hooker. She don't have to do no work. You're like, this has got to be the easiest job ever for her. Like, yo, just lay here and play dead. Yo, stare up at the ceiling, and I'm just gonna hump on you for a few minutes.
I
That
didn't know that about him. That does make him an extra piece of shit.
what?
He
What?
had out.
Yeah, yeah, he had an outlet, and when he, because the girlfriend, the way they made it seem anyway, in the writings and in the story, was that she was super weirded out about it, so she couldn't maintain the death position, and that would throw him off. So she would play dead for him, and then he'd start getting into it and being extra rough, and she's like, Ted, chill. And he's like, fuck, you broke the fantasy. Like, you can't be talking and looking directly at me. You're supposed to just lay here limp until I'm done. So I guess that would frustrate him, and then he would go out. But he buried people out in the woods, and he would go revisit the bodies for months and just keep banging
Oh,
them. Yeah, he didn't always need a fresh one. He would go get them. He had heads that he would just go bang the heads and then bury it back under a pile of leaves and come back in 2 weeks or some shit like that. Dude, he was deeply crazy, deeply fucking crazy. Now imagine if he just got a job at the morgue, right?
yeah.
You know how many people
Yeah.
could have survived if Ted Bundy just got a job at the morgue?
So the dystopian future is we crack the code on the human genome, we map every single possible combination of these amino acids, and we figure out exactly what a person's genetic destiny is, and we assign them the appropriate job. Like, you are
Right,
destined to be a murdering rapist. You get a job at the morgue.
right, right. And we're not going to ask any questions about, when this body leaves the morgue, because wait, where's the morgue is yeah, the morgue is before all the other shit, so that's kind of weird too. Because if
Yeah,
you're
it's not the funeral.
if you're
The morgue
violating the
is right
body,
after
the death.
the death. Yeah.
So if you're violating the body, then it goes to the funeral home. It's just like, that's kind of weird too, because now they're looking at their loved one, not knowing that somebody's been all up in that shit for a couple days. That's a little. But if they don't know, I mean, hey, look, it's a dead body. Get over it, right? So
It should just be something and the future will just accept that more than likely when you see your loved one, things have been done to them.
now we got to stop. We got to cancel funerals. We
Yes,
got to cancel
funerals need to be
funerals.
canceled. We need to go back to the burning of the bodies
Either the
with a
black,
shield in our
yep,
hands
yep,
and a
Viking
sword.
burials,
Vikings.
or
Everybody wins. You don't have to worry about wasting land. The body's gone, and everything's burnt away.
But can you burn a body if it's that saturated with semen? possible that that shit just won't ignite?
Oh,
That
yeah.
that might
It's
blow
all
up.
it's all
But
fucking waterlogged in the middle and shit.
just throw a couple piles of gasoline over it.
Oh shit! So either Viking burials or the biopods. I like the biopod idea, where they just put you in like an egg sack. It looks like it's like a burlap egg shaped thing, and they just put it right in the ground under a tree or something, and you just go back to the earth. That's way better than funerals are stupid. Caskets are
It's a
fucking
waste of
stupid.
land. It's a waste of fucking money.
Yeah,
It's
the industry.
ridiculous.
Dumb
It's
shit,
it's
bro.
it's an old hustle that
It's
gonna
for
be off.
it's not even for the dead person anymore at this point.
That's how arrogant humans are. That's how arrogant humans are. This person died, and I'm gonna do something with their body so that I feel better.
Listen, if the day that I pass away and I'm not buried on top of a pile of sticks with a samurai sword and a Haitian flag and whatever music is playing, I want you guys to raise hell.
You have my word.
This is
I'll
this
start
is
tearing
not
shit up.
this is not what Doobie wanted. This is not right. This has to stop. I
I
approve
will,
all
I
of
will
it.
stand up and set fire to the funeral home on the spot.
Violently, just burn the place down, one way or the other. I must.
And not that, even the bio stack. I mean, ashes feed crops, so you get a 2-for-1 when you go the cremation route.
Yeah.
You make a piece of jewelry, you feed the tulips. You could do a lot.
Like, why are we like burying our bodies in like thousands of dollars of wood?
Because
Like,
humans are
and
arrogant as fuck,
and then
bro.
and then the embalming fluid makes it worse.
Yeah, make you stay even longer. Like, let's make it so he doesn't decompose for a long time. What the fuck are
Yes.
you doing? Why?
Not only that, but also too, they sell the benefits of being in the casket. The
Yeah, the
casket
pillows,
is
the silk.
so, and it's gonna make
Stupid as
sure
fuck.
that that the body doesn't decompose. It's gonna preserve the body even more
Yeah,
so.
protected
Which is
from
like,
the elements. The no worms can get in. Like you
It's
fucking.
like he's gonna come back to life. He's
so
gonna
putting the
just
body in
sell
the
me
ground.
sell me the idea that he's coming back to life. I need all this pillows,
Yeah.
cloth, because
The-
one day he's coming back to life.
Look,
So
the
we
mis-
have to keep them together.
the missing books of the Bible. People believe that the entities are coming. This is what people believe. People believe there's entities coming and there's a physical resurrection and you need your body.
That's hilarious. Entities are gonna come. There's gonna be a physical resurrection, but whatever condition you're in when we resurrect you, that's how you gotta stay. So we can't restore you in any way. So if your fucking bottom jaw falls off, that's just sorry, B. You should have been buried
Pharaoh-
in a better suit. Sorry.
Your family didn't love you? They got you that cheap ass casket,
Right.
so you gotta have some issues now. But listen,
Can you
the
imagine
Pharaoh
the arrogance of the resurrected people who are less decomposed? They'll be side eyeing all the fucking
Ah.
skeleton zombies. Like,
Like,
ugh.
you're well put together.
Listen, that's the racism of the future post alien invasion.
Right.
There's just gonna be people that had decent caskets and their bodies are still intact, and there's gonna be the zombies. It's like ugh. You're
Yeah.
decomposed. Your family didn't love you. You must have not been sealed in a mausoleum.
Terrible.
You fucking pleb.
Absolutely
But fuck
terrible.
Walt Disney is like, yo, freeze my head until we can figure this shit out.
Yeah, just the head though, because I'm sure
'Cause
by
the
the
rest-
time
the
we
rest
figure
of the
this out,
body.
yeah, you'll be able to attach me to some kind of cyborg robot with a fucking drill for a penis. Don't worry about it. I'll be fine.
The Nazis will rise again.
Fuck all that. Yeah, caskets are dumb, funerals are dumb, and humans should do better. It's just a racket at this point. If you selling people fancy boxes to put in the ground, you're a piece of shit. I think I can say that.
Yo,
I-
you're talking
I'll
about the
go
cars
with
and
it.
houses.
Right.
Cars and houses.
Right.
20, 30, 40, 50, 150 grand for a fucking box.
Bro, we should start a
For somebody that's dead.
we should start a funeral home. We should start a funeral home that sells like just cardboard boxes. Like that's all we got.
Just sell, like, have like this big, huge piece of land, and just sell the idea that he's gonna get buried right there with the pile of sticks.
Yeah,
Is
we're gonna
where
put 'em- we gonna mulch 'em.
everybody dies, everybody gets buried right there in that pile of sticks. We just have the big ass land just for presentation, but actually everybody gets burnt right over there in that corner, and we just go on with the day.
Well, that's what all this fucking ritual shit is to make sure you get what you paid for. Like, let me put you through this trauma of going through all of these rituals, and basically it's just to make sure, like, I paid 15 grand for this casket. That better be the shit that you lower into the ground. It's not like you leave but it's like, no,
15 grand for something that's they're never gonna touch.
It's gonna
ever.
get buried. Is there
Listen.
anything else in the world that we pay $15,000 for with the intention of burying it?
Oh my gosh, I can't even like put a thought in my head of what else could we spend money on.
Stupidest shit in the world, bro. Like, and also, I don't want to be disrespectful, right? I don't want to. I don't want to be disrespectful, but
but you're going to be.
I hope not. But if you feel like you need to go to a particular location where the decomposing body of your loved one is for you to tap in and whatever feeling you're looking for, whether you just want a remembrance, and if you feel like you need to go to a specific location to do that, you have been so deeply brainwashed by society, you almost don't even deserve. Like, okay, I'll stop there. Like, it's just you're deeply confused about what all this shit means, what life is about, what love really is, how to process loss and grief. You haven't learned anything. I have to go to where my cousin is buried in order for me to tap into the memory of him. I have to go there and cry and put a flower on this piece of cement and then take a picture of myself with a single tear rolling down my cheek. It's performative bullshit. It's performative bullshit. Why should you have to go to the place where the body's buried? Why can't you just be on your couch, right, and get the inkling like, oh, I remember my great grandma. She was awesome, and then finish watching Netflix? Why would you have to go to the physical place where the body? First of all, you're not even sure the body's there. It could be 3 other people buried on top of them by now. But I don't get it. I don't.
And it's not even that. After a few generations, they sell the land. They take away all the tombstones. If they have to unearth it and get rid of the bodies, they take all that away and they bury it back up, and all that was gone.
Gosh, that's
Right.
just so.
Like, you know how many cemeteries have just disappeared because like no one has any claim to it. They digged up the bodies, threw them somewhere else.
If you
and
lucky, they
took
digged
over
up the
land.
bodies. They might have just
if
did
you're
some
lucky.
poltergeist shit and put a fucking gated community on top of it. Because if y'all wasn't Native American, you can't haunt people. So fuck it, you just stay down there. The only way you can haunt people is if you're Native American. That's the
You
only
had
way.
you have to have the ancestral voodoo knowledge.
You ever notice there's no regular
Somewhere.
there's no regular hauntings by just random dead people? It has to be a Native American burial ground. Because if you just buy a casket that got like old Jews in it, they can't haunt you.
Not doing nothing.
No, it's too much work to haunt.
No, because they won't haunt you because they're like, you know what, this is cost effective. He's right. I can't.
Nah, they just, nah,
The casket was 10,000. Why should I leave?
no, there's gonna be complaints. It's like, so cold in here, you keep it.
Why is it so chilly? Nah, dude. Yeah, that's some crazy shit. I don't want to be
That's
disrespectful to
sparing?
people who are
Yeah.
suffering that kind of stuff, but it's self-inflicted suffering at this point. That's the only way I can see it.
Nah, you hit the nail right on the head, man. Is that we're not educated into these deeper forms of thought and introspection. Like, we're just, a lot of people aren't going there to work this out, and I think for a lot of people, there's a catharsis in that ritual, and that for them it does make a connection. Like it does, going to the actual spot. They feel like, okay, this is how I connect with that person. This is where I'm connecting with this. And some people, I mean, Instagram has fucking made everything fucking performative. But I think for a lot of people, there is something about that helps people cope with their loss. And I just think that there's an industry that's all more than happy to accommodate them. Like,
Yeah.
look, we can have you go deeper into these mysteries about life and have you work it out and have you develop a more profound and deeper understanding and connection with how all of this works. Or you could give me 60 grand for the Cadillac model and we can fucking keep your fucking loved one preserved forever, and you can come here and do whatever you want and feel better. There's just a financial incentive to have that person be stunted there, and for that to be, what helps them get by.
We should have an Aztec special in our funeral home.
Which is
We just we right there and then we chop the head off of the pre-dead person, lift, lift the skull up in the air, do a little dance, do a little ritual that you guys wanted to see, and then just go put them back in the pile of bodies and burn them.
Yo, before you cremate me, definitely recreate some fucking movie scenes. Like fucking Kali, like, just fucking have a blast.
Wow. Hey, this is it.
I'm just if we're gonna do if we're gonna pay that much money for a casket, why not? Why not?
Show.
Why not? Why not have some fucking 10-foot tall pyramid and it's just some dude dressed up in Aztec uniform?
Right, and then roll the fucking head down the ziggurat.
Yeah.
Make that shit a show.
I would go to that. Man, this was fucking awesome. You paid for that.
Yeah, it's not even just family invited. You could buy tickets to just go to that shit like a monster truck show.
I'm like, yo, this man was if he was like this dead, he must have been a great guy alive. This was great.
All the people that owed you money in life that you never paid back, they can make a donation to your family and crack you over the head with a baseball bat.
Adventure Funerals Incorporated. We just got we got a whole bunch of different narratives we could do. What you want you want the Viking burial? Do you want the Aztec, the Egyptian? What do you want? How you want to do this?
Give you the Lois and Clark deal, but he won't come back to life. But
Oh, dude,
that's a good business model.
Look, some fucking animatronics and a dragon swoops down and fucking.
The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. You could spectacular Disney animatronic shit.
I think we have something, guys. We have to put this down in the books.
Because afterwards, you're keeping the body. It's fucking desecrated and bloodied and battered as it's going to be. It's all going in the furnace anyway, and you're giving the family the ashes. Because we live in a enlightened society where we understand, look, this is a hustle. They're reselling the fucking real estate just as soon as your lineage forgets that bodies are here. We're stuffing this shit all over.
If you're gonna pay $15,000,
what's the business model after that? Yeah.
If you're gonna pay $15,000 for a casket, why not pay for the Aztec special? Would you rather have that?
Pay for the experience.
Yeah, we'll just have a big ass spot that looks like fucking Busch Gardens and shit. And we have different things. Which way is the Aztec burial? Oh, that's right down here, and take a right at the tiki pole.
Right there.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. I like it.
Dude, the themed restaurants.
Yep. Yeah. You get you a turkey leg on your way to the funeral.
Yeah.
All that shit, bro.
Mixed drinks with hiked up prices. Absolutely. All of the swag. You know what I mean? The memorabilia that you could sell. Hey, when the animatronic dragon swooped down and ate your loved one in half, here's what the crowd looked like. It's a picture of everybody.
Right, when you go down the splash shit.
Yeah.
The candid photography. I love it.
Listen, I'm all for it.
We need to reframe the way we treat dead bodies in our society.
Do not bury me in a fucking casket. Find something else.
Fuck that. I'm gonna need some type of fucking Egyptian pharaoh's burial. Something good, something that ends with a bang. There's got to be some fireworks and shit.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it. I'm not going in a casket. Put me in a burlap sack and bury me under a ganja field.
Put me on a fucking rocket. Just let me float in space.
That would be a good. Now that's dope. To just jettison the body out in fucking space.
That'd be floating in space.
That'd be dope.
Oh, and with the GoPro on it, that's powered.
A solar powered GoPro.
It just happened.
And then look, when you're reminiscing of your loved one, you could always just look up to the sky and know he's up there floating.
You go to the live stream.
Watching down on you. He's literally watching down on you now.
Hey, go to the live stream. We can see it.
What about when people start recreating movie scenes, like in Scarface, where fucking he's with Sosa and they drop fucking Oscar out of the airplane? You have like your body will be the fucking
Yeah,
thing.
your body is so
Right,
your
everybody's like actors, like Scarface scene.
Gotta
There he is.
make sure that one shoe fall off at just the right time, like
Right.
just the right.
we should all be all death movie scenes. Like, so your body is that person dying in that scene in the movie.
Shit.
Like, that's the whole package. How do you want to die? You want to die like in Predator? Which one? Which one do you want?
I want to die like Sam Jackson in Deep Blue Sea. Just
Just gotta
this
have
big
a
ass
great
shark
speech,
comes up and
have
fucking grabs
have
you.
an uplifting speech and a big ass fucking shark. We're all gonna make it alive, and then the fucking shark just comes out and gets you. That's fucking awesome. I would love to have a funeral like that. Like, I just made a whole video. Like, I made a video. Okay, hey guys, this time I'm dead, but I'm gonna make an uplifting speech, and then a fucking just shark just attacks my body, and it's done. We're done. Funeral's over.
I love
Funeral's
it,
over.
You know what? All of these fucking businesses are good. They're all going to go out of business. They're going to be bought for cheap, either because it's going to be apocalypse and it's going to be abandoned, or because they're just making woke shit that nobody gives a fuck about. And eventually, they're going to be on the market for sale for cheap. The infrastructure for Universal Studios and the Magic Kingdom and Disney World, that shit is basically, you have the infrastructure already there for these funerals that we're talking about. Like, they got the fucking Jaws ride. You got the animatronic shark. You got the fucking 3D motion rides and shit. You got everything that you need. You just would reappropriate it to recreate these scenes, and you sell packages. And when you're doing an expansion, what are you? We're coming up with a new package.
Yep.
You're not making new roller coasters and new rides. You're making new infrastructure to recreate death scenes from movies. For fucking funerals.
Oh my god, dude. It's too good. It's definitely better than putting a fucking $5,000 box in the ground.
Oh, dead ass.
Can't get a dude.
You're not getting married for 5,000. You gotta go.
Yeah, long time, sir. You ain't touching 5,000.
Yeah, you go to one of those
in the
places.
morgue adding up the bill with 5,000.
Yeah, you go to one of those spots with $5,000. They'd be like, "The best I can do is toss him out the back door." For $5,000, that's all I can do.
I could sell his liver and his lungs and his heart, and then we'll see what we could do after that.
Like, I might be able to work with 5,000, but let me ask you this: how attached are you to his body parts? Does it need to be the entire person that goes into the box? Oh shit!
What if we just have the top part open, but we sell the bottom half to like a Chinese restaurant?
And to be fair, if I owned a morgue, I'm definitely selling body parts. I'm definitely.
You kind of have to.
I'm definitely, because like, how do you really know like he's missing a lung? Like, who's checking for that?
How is this not all dog food?
Dude, I'm gonna run my shit like a you pull it garage. Like, I just keep the bodies cold. Whatever, we got bone saws. You can rent the bone saw.
Come to the back door.
Yeah, just get
cash
what you need.
only.
Take what you need.
Let's call it a day.
You're like, yo, you got any Asian males? Like, yeah, on aisle 3, row 5.
There you go.
Got a 46-year-old Asian man. He still got most
this
of
one
the body parts.
freshly died 2 hours ago. Heart attack.
Fucked up, bro. We care way too much about dead bodies. Them shit should be put to better use. At least, I mean, it should be like feeding a barrier reef or something like that. Can't you like drop them down there, let the sea urchins get them, and wouldn't that be,
Not with all the embalming fluid we put on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Even worse.
Fucking stupid, bro. Stupid. All right,
I'm gonna die like episode 1 in Star Wars. Just like your body is fucking. What's his name? And he just stab him with a lightsaber, and then the funeral's over. It's done. He falls into the pit of fire.
Yeah, I don't know. That motherfucker, he dipped out before he got his ass kicked. This motherfucker might actually beat me. I'm gone. I'm ghost, bro. That's some good shit though. I like these. I like this adventure funeral idea. I think we're taking it way too seriously. I think people could do. I think there's something positive in reframing that whole experience and creating a party where you just shoot this motherfucker out of a cannon into the ocean or some shit like whatever. We just got options. We got options, bro.
Or you have like an escape room, right? And you marionette the dead body. So it's like coming after you.
Like Saul, I would like to play a game. A real haunted house with actual dead bodies in it, fucking just chasing people. That's a little bit too morbid. People might start liking that a little in a different way, but I'm definitely down for Viking burials, shooting them out of cannons, recreating movie scenes, like all of that. Just adventurous, powerful shit. And then every time you think about your friend, you could be like, yeah, he went out like Sosa, bro. That shit was hardcore.
Yeah, man. He had that. That was the greatest funeral you ever been into. It's just all you could think about is just happiness.
Top of the world, ma. Just blow the whole shit up,
That's it.
pyrotechnics and shit. That's
Done.
fire, bro. And there's an audience for this.
Make it a New Jack City scene. Like,
Shit.
there's plenty ways we could turn this. Around.
Idolater.
Your soul is required in heaven. We just have to rewrite it. Like, no, he's not going to hell. He's going to heaven. Trust me.
It's all good. It's all good. Or we can shoot him off in space, and he's always looking down on it.
Now I'll be
Dude,
down. Yeah,
that's
shooting people
kinda
in space
dude.
is dope.
Look, Elon Musk is shooting fucking cars into space.
Yeah,
That's
shooting people in the
gotta,
space is
they're
dope.
taking loads, right? And if you're important, you're on you're single ship, one shot for you. But there's gonna be people that want bargain bins, and they're gonna load up one of these rockets with like 50 bodies for space burials.
Honestly,
Space
I want to see
coming.
criminals jettisoned into space just for science. Just so we can start understanding what raw space does to the human body. There should definitely be some GoPros sending some imagery back of a serial rapist getting shot into space.
No, I could.
In
I could agree
4K.
on that one.
4K. That video gets 1 billion views on YouTube.
I'll tell you, there's no more dicks going and sleeping patients.
Oh no,
I'd
yeah.
have-
Yeah, you fly this
Sci-
motherfucker to space and shoot him out the porthole and show in 4K what happens to the body. You definitely gonna think twice about raping a sleeping patient for sure. You gotta
And
do
after
something.
that, you only catching people that truly can't help themselves, and then we know like there's nothing else to do with them. Like anybody that can be morally persuaded to do the right thing, I think we have in line, and then we're only left with the people that we have to shoot out of rockets.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of people I send up. I ain't gonna front. There's a lot of people I could think of. I would honestly send a paddy wagon through certain parts of Chicago and just scoop those motherfuckers up and just give them a group deal, a Groupon, shoot them all into space at the same time. 30 of you motherfuckers out the window. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying some of this shit is getting out of control. I'll be sending a lot of people on that space party, bro. And then we get a bunch of good scientific data back too. So, you know, it's a twofer. We get rid of psychotic gang members, and we also get a lot of good scientific research on what space does. We got to figure out how to become interstellar, as our homie Terrence Howard has been telling people. We got to figure out how to become an interstellar society, or eventually this planet won't be inhabitable. A couple billion years from now, shit might not be good. So we got to figure this out with curves and vertices and the flower of life. So until we figure that out, we need to start shooting gang members into space, rapist doctors, a whole bunch of people. Just get them out of here, bro. Get the science going. How do we become an interstellar society? I don't know, but I got a fucking paddy wagon full of serial killers to help us find out. Shoot those motherfuckers out there.
Shit,
bro.
I think you might actually get volunteers from Walrus Island.
Probably.
You might actually have a program where people's like, listen, I'm sick of fucking trying to cut these trees down and make spears like I'm surviving an ark. Just give me the space shuttle. I want out of here.
Yeah.
Like that's the only way off Walrus Island is via a space shuttle for science.
Yeah, and if you do it as an elective, your family gets a check.
Oh,
Yeah, see? You volunteer, your family gets a check.
can I just say again, the greatest think tank ever? Never a greater fucking think tank.
I could see one of those commercials like OCP in RoboCop for Jettison. You can send you to just sign up for Jettison. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
with testimonials like, listen, I know I'm never going to live down the guilt of murdering that entire family. But what I can do is make sure my family's taken care of. And
Yeah,
throw them into the rocket.
I ain't
It's
mad.
like, your family will get a stipend of $5,000 a month for the next 5 years by donating your body to science. Who wants to live on Walrus Island anyway?
Right. Just
There's
sign
no
up.
animals on Walrus Island.
Jettison, take the plunge. Oh, it's perfect. Another one. A Jettison is good. We're gonna have Jettison commercials playing in the dangerous gentle verse when we get this Adult Swim thing up and running. Dude, I've been doing a lot of research. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. This shit ain't gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be a learning curve, but it's not gonna be difficult. It's not gonna be difficult. We're gonna be able to create a dope animated universe. We got so much music, so much characters, so much shit to explore. This shit is gonna. We're about to step into some real deal shit here. Some real deal shit. As soon as this rig gets replaced, I'm going buck wild, bro. I'm going buck wild. We got a lot of content to create. It's the best way
Love
to
it.
make money right now, man. Content creation is putting a lot of money in a lot of people's pockets, and a lot of it is
Content
some
is
goofy
king.
shit. It is. It absolutely is. So I think we got a real shot at doing this shit at a level that can change all of our lives. So I'm excited. I'm ready to get it cracking.
Definitely have the Doug gossip in there somewhere.
Yeah, dude. Thug gossip. I think it was a good idea saying to record some segments throughout the week because I can't. It's hard to hold on to the energy to the weekend because you don't care anymore. I forgot what Hassan Campbell did last week. By the time Sunday gets here, so it's like fuck it. But if we actually do it in the moment while you're still filled with rage and confusion at the shit that's going on in the world, we got to get it out quick. We can't let it hang there, dude, because it'll disintegrate. Which is a good thing for our mental health, but we are leaving money on the table. So we got to start attacking this shit a little bit more diligently, and I'm totally down. Totally down. But I'm gonna wrap it up, man. Definitely great talking to you, brothers. I appreciate you always making time to work these knots out of society and out of our situation and bringing us closer to this metaphysics of we're fucked compound existence. Always appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna find me some grub, and I think I've been watching Banshee. That shit's kind of hardcore, so I'm gonna watch a couple more episodes of Banshee tonight. It's a dope show on Netflix called Changing or How to Change Your Mind. So if you get a chance to watch that, you watch it already?
No, I haven't. I saw the it's being promoted heavily on the trending thing.
Yeah,
I haven't taken a look at it yet, but it was definitely it looked interesting.
dope. A
I'm
lot of
assuming
good
it's
information.
psychedelic.
Yeah, a lot of good information about the real history of psychedelics and the influence that it made before it got wrapped up in the whole war on drugs thing. Just a lot of dope information, and we definitely. I mean, the realistic idea here is that we definitely going to need you on some shrooms eventually. As good as you are in your natural state, as useful as you've been to this entire movement, I just feel like shrooms is going to take it all to the next level, and who knows what potential it could unlock. So I'm excited
It's a
for us to
wonderful
have.
it's a wonderful ride.
Yeah, I'm excited for us to have a real ceremony. We got to get together, figure something out, and have us a shamanic ceremony together. And even if it's a small dose, we got to get you into the psychedelic fold
Good six
eventually.
grams will change your
No,
life.
bro, don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. That is not good information.
Well, it, de- it
If you
depends.
no,
It depends.
no.
Are you going to the roller coaster that just goes straight, or do you want to go to roller coaster with the loop de loops?
No, we're
You
not doing
know,
that. Nope,
what are you trying to do?
nope, nope.
I've got the fear. I've got the fear. If there's ever going to be anything, it's going to have to be baby steps.
Yeah, you gotta
Don't
respect the
come in.
medicine.
Don't come in with fear though. Do
You
not
gotta
come
Because
with
respect the
any
medicine.
negative energy. Don't come with any negative energy at all.
if I was a tiny dude, I would. But I'm a kind of a big guy. Like you would have to be people. You'd have to subdue me. Who knows if I lose my fucking mind? Like let's
Uh,
just
nah,
let's
nah.
take
Yeah,
a step.
It's
Let's take.
it's it's how you're coming. It's how you're coming in. If you come in with the positivity in your mind, because I don't. This is my experience. I don't know, but it's what's in your mind coming into the dosage. So if you're coming in there with like some type of stress, you're gonna have like some type of bad event happening. But if you're going in there with like I'm just taking shrooms, gonna have a good time, then it's like you're gonna see like the real aspect of like what your mind is trying to tell you.
I mean, I would like to meditate and relax before doing anything. Like I would definitely I would definitely want to have a period of time to prepare my mind ahead of time.
yeah. Intention
Yeah,
setting, bro. Like I said, a
yeah.
shamanic ceremony. It's not. I wouldn't suggest you taking a bunch of shrooms and going to see Godzilla or no shit like
Yeah,
that. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Don't
Like,
go in there
nah,
like
we're
reading
gonna
Cannibal
sit.
Lecter and then take shrooms. It's
Nah,
just bad
all right,
news.
we're gonna
Bad news
sit.
bears.
We're gonna have respect for the medicine. We're gonna set up the environment, And even if every time after that you do it differently, but I think that's how I was introduced to it. I think going in with that type of reverence and respect from the beginning, understanding your dosage, preparing it for yourself, like all of those marks, those touch points of the ritual, I think it helps the outcome. So I would suggest we do it that way. I wouldn't suggest you take no more than about 3.5 grams. That's a good introductory dose. And
Whenever
then
we
later
do it,
on,
though, let me know.
yeah, I want to set it up. I definitely want us to do it.
I'll pay for the
Brainstorm.
extra dosage for me. I gotta have more than just
Yeah,
three.
last time I set last time I set, me and my wife both did 6 grams each, of golden teachers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm at the stage where I trust it, and I'm purposely looking behind the veil. Like I'm asking for the downloads. I want the medicine to teach me whatever I need to learn.
Yeah, I'm
But
trying to go down the elevator.
that introductory dose and learning to respect it and having a good first experience is important to what comes after. So yeah, I think we should do that shit, bro. It's gonna look a little bit. It might look a little bit broke back mountainy to begin with. It's like, yeah, me and the fellas are gonna go get a cabin and trip on shrooms. So it might sound a little weird. It might sound a little weird, but trust me, I think it'll be a powerful experience, and I think it'll help move us into a new place. Especially, and I could also use it as you two could be witnesses for my first sermon, so I can give a psychedelic sermon. You know what I'm saying? So it killed with a lot of birds, one stone going on here. So I think
Yeah,
we should
man.
set that
Worst
up.
case scenario, have a joint. The weed will level you out.
Oh, we definitely gonna have some trees up in there for
Yeah,
sure.
the weed will level you out. That's one thing. I think when I first did mines, I don't know, man. Like I'm 36. I don't know. I'm going. I think I'm just going. I'm at the. I don't want to say like midlife crisis. I hate that shit. But it's just like it's more of like a like just wanting to go to the deep end, and it's not like the deep end of like the dark corner. But I don't know, man. I want to experiment with
Yeah, me
with
too. Yeah, it'll
shrooms.
call you.
With
It'll
shrooms.
call you out for sure. But I'm
Because
definitely.
once I heard no side effects, I was like, fuck it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to engage with right now. I'll still take LSD from time to time. LSD to me has less responsibility. Like you could take LSD. I'd walk around Ybor on LSD. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't
It's
had
fun.
the opportunity for that, but
It's fun. But shrooms, you'll be walking around Ybor. You'll see scantily clad women and you'll cry because you feel bad for them and shit like
yeah,
that.
you
It's
have
just so much
weird
more
emotions,
responsibility. Yeah, with
weird
shrooms.
emotions. That you gotta be like really be prepared of like your mental state.
Yeah.
Like you don't take it like if you're fucking like you saw somebody die and then you fucking trip on shrooms, you're gonna be like crying like for the whole hour, fucking up everybody's vibe because like you're thinking about like all this death and somebody died.
Mortality and yeah, it's real shit. It's real.
Yeah.
It's heavy, bro. But I think if we set the environment up, like I said, I'm practicing my shamanic techniques and all of that. So not that you guys will be guinea pigs or nothing, but you could definitely help me formulate my own rituals and shit. And I just I think it'd be a dope thing for us to do to solidify a lot, cement a lot of things, and step into this new realm of responsibility and content creation that we're planning. I think it would be dope to do that together.
As long as we ain't doing sacrifices, I'm always down.
Nah. I don't sacrifice nothing. We celebrating life. That's it. That's it. That's the
None
whole
of
vibe.
none of that voodoo hibla, hoobly day.
So you don't want me to bring one of my chickens and snatch the head off that motherfucker?
you fucking dead, take like 8 grams and you just pull out the chicken like, damn, look.
Y'all ready?
Oh fuck. I mean pinky.
We got to make some of this YouTube money, so I bought a chicken.
I bought a chicken. Look into that circle and you snap the neck.
Hell yeah. But yeah, man, y'all enjoy the rest of the evening, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon. Take some notes for the next coming show. Keep me posted on any thug gossip that bubbles up to the top.
Absolutely.
Always take it easy.
Yeah, man, y'all take it easy, brother.
Be safe.
Peace.
Metaphysics is going to have to be the quote unquote religion of tomorrow. If it isn't, you're fucked. Totally and absolutely.